God. Unfucking
Supposed to
real.
be mad.
Yeah, keep saying I'm fucking late. It's 8:01, guys. Calm the fuck down. God. Unfucking
Supposed to
real.
be mad.
Alrighty. Let's get this shit started. Hi, chat.
Let's get it going. What up, chat?
Welcome back to another delectable episode of the Goonsday Preppers. Joined here with the goons, as it were. Channel members, welcome back. Subscribers, welcome back. Newbies, if you're joining here for the first minute, welcome. Get ready for a shit show. It's what we do best over here. I mean, you guys know the drill. We're not new to this, right? We're pretty well acquainted with one another at this point, so yeah, we got a special episode planned this fine evening, as it were. Joined here with the homies, Procher Band and GWatt Alchemist. As per usual, Bones Maloney. He might hop in a little bit later. He's got some other things to take care of at the moment, so we won't tie him up. Mike Tango Whiskey, what's up, dude? How you doing, buddy? I'm a glaze right now. Been loving your videos lately. Anyway, so I'm gonna crack open my my microphone here, and this episode was brought to you by a Discord member, actually, one of my Discord homies who's in the channel, which if you're not in the Discord, consider joining the Discord. The link is in the description. And you could go in there, you could talk to me, you could make fun of my videos, you know what I'm saying, give me ideas for videos. You can talk to these guys, they're in there sometimes. GWatt, you have your own Discord, which is always popping off. Fucking last night, it was like World War III in there, in general.
Pretty frequently.
But, yeah, this was actually a user submission, tonight's episode, which comes from Larva24, which hopefully he's here. I hope he's here to actually watch the episode that he inspired. But let's see. Let's get the talking points up on screen here. Alrighty. So the main topic of discussion is basically SHTF conscription via the hood, okay, the block, as it were, your homies, whether it be your neighbors, your friends, you know, people that you live near and around. Yes, Larva's here. Cool. Larva, this is your idea, buddy. Thank you for the idea for tonight's stream. Oh, and also shout out to fucking Lil Booty Fart for being a nephew supporter. He hopped in early before we even got started. So that shit's pretty fucking cool. Oh shit! I forgot I didn't change the audio for donations and stuff, so it's a really loud echoing fart. Nostalgia Stein for $2 says Goon Fitness Standards. That is, I planned on making a video all on its own, but we could definitely talk about that tonight. That will probably get brought up eventually.
Well. But yeah, we totally can talk about it.
Let me turn you guys up in the booth here a little bit so I can hear you better. Yeah, that's good. Actually, we're going to turn Procher Band all the way up. He's a little quiet and shit. Okay, so, yeah, SHTF neighborhood conscription, right? I'm just going to read off what Mr. Larva described the video to me, or I'm sorry, the idea to me as. And then we'll just go through point by point. We're going to talk our shit as we usually do. But before we get started, guys, please check out the links in the description. Check out these guys' channels. Like, comment, subscribe on everything. All of their videos, all that jazz. So, yeah. Anyway. So he said, I have this idea bouncing around for a video that I think would make a good stream topic. I'm calling it the neighborhood conscription. The basic idea is that something has happened that prompted you and your goon squad to don gear, grab your guns, and go take care of business. But you need more manpower. Then you can muster. Sorry. Either because everyone lives too far apart, or the squad consists of 3 people. Or you don't actually have a squad to begin with. So you turn to your friends and neighbors for help. So the questions among these are, I kind of summarize them here. Who among the non-goons in your community can you trust and bring in? Second question is, what situations would it be worth to bring in non-goons, and what situations should you not bring them in instead of reducing the scope of your operation? And then question 3, the final one, is, should these people be armed / should you arm them? Excuse me. And what roles could they fill if unarmed? So I think it was a great idea. Great talking points here. So we'll go bit by bit and kind of talk about it. So I guess we'll open it up with just the question, sort of paint the picture here. Neighborhood conscription. I think we talked about this not too long ago, where I think we brought up doing giveaway kits or something like that, like rifle builds where that you give to people, that where it's like
Yep.
you have to go over to your neighbor's house and give them a gun or something. I'm like, I think that's kind of a silly idea, because if you, ideally, like, you should be friends with that person and then maybe talk that person into, like, I don't know, buying a gun if he doesn't have one, so that you're not arming somebody who is absolutely 0% trained, you know what I mean? And just being like,
Sure.
watch my back, you know what I mean? Like, fucking some crazy shit like that. So, but the SHTF neighborhood conscription. I mean, that's not like a completely outlandish concept at all, really. I mean, that's kind of what you see in most disasters and stuff like that, is just like, oh my god, hey, the dopamine rectangle doesn't work anymore. Like, you're gonna go and check on your neighbor's house and just be like, hey, like, are you good? Can you get in touch with anybody? No, okay. And then you kind of go from there, and it kind of can devolve into what we're talking about, without being too specific in situations or anything like that. I think that's kind of the broad scope of what SHTF neighborhood goon conscription looks like. Did you guys have anything you wanted to add to that before we get into the questions?
Yeah, I mean, I have like a ton to say on this entire topic, but that's why we're here tonight. So you don't have to concede the floor to me yet. We can start talking specifics. But I see where you're coming from. I disagree a little bit. I think that there is a huge. I Met TC, situation, individual, all these things dependent, right? Which is like there's a million different factors that we go, what about this? What about this? Generally speaking, I think that there's a lot of people in America who don't have any weapons, but they understand something about shooting. There's tons of dudes who are in the military, even if they were just a pogue in the Air Force, they rifle qualled with an AR-15, and they probably maybe don't have one right now. But then if your neighborhood's about to burn down, they would like to have an AR-15 and stand watch with you. They know how to reload it. They know how to aim it. Yeah, Pup making an appearance in the background. Whatever the case, right? Don't have to go down all the specifics and all the different factors, but there's a huge demographic of people that have shot guns before but don't own guns. There's a huge demographic of people that have a gun but don't have like extra magazines, extra ammo, nylon kit, canteens, et cetera, right? So on and so forth. As far as like immediately arming people that might need it.
Sorry, Mike Tango. He said, unfit and untrained equals intersection blockade fodder.
Yeah, like, right, again, like I'm saying, there's a million different factors we could go down. In my mind, I'm thinking like, whatever, BLM riots are coming, and they're like sweeping through subdivisions. I live in a subdivision, right? That's where my mind goes.
Yep.
Also would apply to like an apartment complex, whatever. And you're like, if we could just get some dudes with rifles to just stand there and look menacing at the entryway of our subdivision, that alone is probably enough to get people out of here. So if I'm cool, I'm gonna go do that. I'm heading out there, have contact with my people at home on a radio, and then while I'm on my way there, while I'm there, people are coming out. What's going on? How can I help? What? I don't have anything. Well, I got a handful, some extra rifles and some extra kits. I can fucking give some guys.
Yep.
It's a whole lot better than being like, oh shit, and trying to like molly stuff onto that spare belt you have, like in the moment.
Yeah, right.
But yeah,
like,
I'll
regardless of
concede the floor to everybody
circumstance,
else.
some people just are not able, for whatever reason or another, to sort of arm themselves, or take into consideration the idea that they might need to do something like that. But, sometimes you're just the right person for the job, right person, right place, right time. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you can be outfitted in such a way, because your head's in the right space, and you're just like, hey, I'm here to help. I want to. What can I do? And it's just like, dude, I'm not gonna, you know, uh, hypothetically shoot you down. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're down for the cause, you're fucking down for the cause, dude. And I'm all for that. So, Approach Band, do you have anything?
Well, hello everyone. Just want to give a quick shout out to all our Black Kings in the chat. I know we have a lot of Black Kings and Queens watching, so if you guys want to give some chats, get some comments in there
Yes.
going. Hello to my pharaohs out there and all my Black
We
Queens.
indeed was kings and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one for me because I'm in one of the most gun-owning states in America. That's what they say. And like everybody my age has at least one or multiple ARs. So it's really, can you hear me okay,
Yeah.
boss?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
So it's really tough for me to relate. In the state as a whole, it's kind of it's an aging population, right? So that might be something where like, okay, what can these guys do? And I'm not the fastest runner, I'll readily admit. So I'm just not sure. I'm trying to think about what kind of situation I would really face living where we live, big Trump state. And I'm not sure, although, never relax, right? There could be, Antifa or whatever coming through. But with how well armed we are, I can't imagine giving a gun to somebody who doesn't have one. It's like, dude, you got to catch up where the rest of us are at,
Right.
And it's like even people have casual kit and helmet and stuff that, we probably don't really need, but we are pretty well supplied. So that's the other aspect of it, too. Shout out Pharaohs in the chat, Black Kings. Glad you're here.
Yes. Black representation in the chat.
I'll just say real quick, this is obviously like down the line, right? If you're trying to still work on your personal gear, get yourself squared away, don't even think about this. This is for people that have been doing this for a long time, and they already, without trying, have a bin full of extra gear and a couple extra rifles laying around, which was pretty much my situation. And it's like, hey, instead of having a bunch of slop just unorganized sitting there, assemble some things that make sense, that if for whatever reason you could hand out, you could, rather than trying to put stuff together last minute. The other equally as fantasy thought that I have is like you and all your homies are goons and you all hang out with each other, but you all don't bring all of your kit and your rifle everywhere you go, right? So if all of you and your goon friends have 1, 2, 3, whatever extra handoff kits and long guns to go with it, well, whoever's house you end up being at for the barbecue or the poker game, when the Russians paratroop in, you all can immediately equip yourselves to resist, rather than everybody have to go home and then meet back up. I know these are all extra fantasy, right? And I'm being kind of fantastical with them on purpose because it's a lulz at myself, but this is where my head
dude,
is.
it's not fantasy because we had the Chinese balloon overhead.
Yeah.
So it's very real, and even the Canadians are a little sus nowadays with what's going on. So I'm not a huge fan of that. Our northern border, we gotta really lock that down, in my opinion. So, but yeah, it's a situation like you said where it's like, okay, here, take a rifle, you take a rifle, you take. It's like, which one do you want? At any random dude's
Go
house.
shopping.
Yeah, at least it should be. I think the challenging part might be more what's the discipline side, what's the physical fitness side, what are the just best practices for everything going on, and communication is a big one as well, right? So I don't want to get clapped with the bow fang. I don't want to immediately throw up a beacon that says, hey, we're right here with the bow fang. So that's a whole other thing as well.
Yeah, I was gonna bring up the in terms of trying to assert this as some sort of fantasy. I'm like, you are literally a victim of the Chinese spy balloon in your own state. Like it flew all the way the fuck over, didn't it? Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm like, that's some real shit for you. You know what I mean? So.
It is. Even like the 338, you can't reach that far. So we need our great pilots. Pilots have to be strapped at this point. So, yeah, that was crazy.
Drive-bys, in the jets and shit.
Yep. And then part of the issue, actually, this might be some classified sauce, but part of the issue was it was so high, it was outside of the service ceiling of some of our fighters. And I'm okay saying that now. That's all public. That's all, it is what it is. And then it came out later, yeah, they were looking at the RF communications and all this stuff. Just happened to go over all the nukes and all this stuff. So, yeah, it is a very real thing, and it's where like, hey, it's like 5 minutes, you got to go, dude. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I'll just say that for sure.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in the Chinese sleeper cells are already here.
Yeah.
Which, you know, a
They
lot of people
100%
laugh
are.
at, but that's what I think.
They hide as tourists. They say, well, I said, Mom and Dad, why are there so many Chinese tourists in our national park? Oh, they just love nature, sweetie. Wrong.
Wrong.
They don't love nature. They're here to, give us egg rolls or whatever they're going to do.
Yeah.
It's all a farce.
But they are 100% here.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I think so too. That's also part of my incorporation, right? All of the pop-up riots and the worry of the sleeper cells that could just activate anytime. I feel like being able to throw out kits, like it seems fan, and you guys are absolutely right? If somebody's fucking morbidly obese and 59 years old, and they're like, I've never shot a gun before, yeah, probably don't hand him a rifle and a full set of kit and expect anything. But like, what just popped in my mind, and I know it doesn't mean that we'd have our kits in this instant or whatever, but remember when the Las Vegas shooting happened, and I can't remember his name, Dan Bilzerian or whatever, that fucking guy. Remember the clip of the cops being like, trying to like react to the active shooter at guns drawn, and him being like, give me a gun.
Yeah.
I have training and shit. And it was like big lulls because obviously that's going to happen there. But I'm just saying, like, literally, like, there's a real world example of shit pops off.
Yeah.
Dudes start responding to it. Other guys are going to come up and be like, I don't have anything. I was at my family's house playing dominoes. Do you have an extra gun?
Yeah.
I was in the Army Rangers for 10 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
like,
right. Yeah. Due to
you're
some
like, yeah, bro, sounds good. Let's
some
get
external
it.
circumstances. Yeah, it's like for some reason or another, I am not quite as prepared for you as you are in this current moment. So I need the thing to do the thing. All right, I'm gonna set you down, Yuka, buddy. You're like clawing my fucking neck, and you're adorable. Say hi to the stream.
Kitty cat.
Kitty cat
Hey,
meow.
kitty.
All right, go on, get out of here. Scram!
Notice the lack of shock collars,
Yeah,
folks. And
I'm
this
not
is
out
why it's
here
so important.
abusing my my pets for moving from their 2 square foot fucking area where they need to stay
my
during the
animals
stream.
can roam wherever they'd like anytime.
Right. And
I am actually in the basement. If we get more super chats, OG might let me out of the crystal. But
he
has the hood on to hide his shot collar.
I have the bob, and that's it. No, but I think this is why it's important to take maybe your like semi-fuddy or family member or uncle. You need to go take them shooting with an AR-15. And there's a good chance they will get into the hobby and arm up from there. I've seen it happen. So, tremendous stuff, boys.
Truly.
Yeah, I can think of
never hurts.
I can think of 3 or 4 people, men that are old enough to stand and shoot if necessary in my family that I have taken shooting, but for whatever reason they themselves have not gone out and bought guns or whatever yet. You know what I'm saying? So, different scenario, whatever happens, and everybody shows up at my house because they know, well, I got guns and kits for those 3 or 4 dudes who refuse to go buy the shit on their own now for whatever reason. Yeah.
It's that's why I always hark a lot on community in these videos where we try and look at the broad spectrum, as it were, the broad autistic spectrum of large scale prepping and whatnot, because it's like that's something that you really aren't going to want to do in the moment necessarily. And this will be my final thought before we kind of get into the nitty gritty of it, but that I don't want to have to try and figure out who's actually on my side with like 30 minutes of vetting. You know what I'm saying? Like how much can I actually trust you? Or like, are we even ideologically aligned? You know what I'm saying? Can I actually trust you to like keep an eye, on my house where my wife and kids are while I go and do something and they're like out on their own and that I'm gone now and blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, yeah, this person I just met fucking 35 fucking minutes ago now has a gun and knows I'm gone and that my wife and kids are at home during some sort of XYZ apocalyptic scenario. You know what I'm saying? It's like I would much rather have somebody a bit more trustworthy that I have done more vetting with, as it were. So this now is the time, is what I'm trying to say, is that this is the time to do that and build that goon network, as it were. So don't sleep on that, Chad. Don't sleep on that. And also, please, I forgot to say this, please like the stream. It's free. It won't cost you a dime. It's one click that you got to do, and it helps the vetting process now. Okay, because this video will get shared to other possible goons out there who is gonna fucking network and make the goon community even bigger, and we're all gonna be one big happy family as long as you press that motherfucking like button and that they see this video and also press that like button. So please do that. Please and thank you. So, now, going into the first question here. We've talked about SHTF neighborhood conscription, what it is, what it might look like. Now let's kind of chop and block, get into some of these questions and dissect it or compartmentalize it in a way that's a little bit easier to digest, right? Excuse me. So the first question here, I wrote it down as simply as, who can you trust / bring in? And to sort of elaborate on that more, Larva, he elaborated that as, who among the non-goons in your community can you trust and bring in? So I think this is sort of like, we already know who we can trust, because it's like, if we're talking about people that are in our network, I guess you could say, in our community, ideologically aligned, we train together, we prepare together, you know, we're socially interactive with each other. I know I can trust you guys, but what about my fucking neighbor across the street, or, you know, my whoever coworker that lives a couple blocks away, whatever, some shit like that, you know? How can you go about bringing somebody like that in, and who might a person like that be? What sort of qualities or traits would you want them to have before you're like, can I actually trust this guy with literally anything? Whoever would like to go
what's the context, right? Because there's like, which I find is a big problem with all these prepper militia 2A questions, right? Everybody asks the question, doesn't address any of the context, then people start arguing because they're imagining wildly different fantasies. Like, are we talking like the government's gone tyrannical and now we're doing like guerrilla stuff, and it's like, who do we let in our guerrilla network? Hopefully they don't rat on us. Is it like the end of the world, and it's like, who can I depend to watch my house while I go on a scavenging patrol? Is it like the sleeper cells have activated, and who can I trust to ride around and get it with me and try and counter the sleeper cells? Like, what's the vibes here? What type of SHTF are we talking about? Or we could address, like, you know, each one of those, or add some more to them and talk about each one separately, or something.
So we'll make this as easy to interpret as possible. We'll look at this like Katrina. Okay, because that's obviously something that's not impossible. It's not unlikely for something like that to happen again in the near future. I think that is something that can be understood by a lot of people, where, like I said, the dopamine rectangle kind of stops working due to loss of power, loss of cell service, things like that. So we'll look at it like that. We'll do like a natural disaster breakdown of law and order. Now, all we got is each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think in a natural breakdown of law and order, like, short answer is you're not going to be able to fully trust anybody, and there's always potential that somebody you don't know is going to backstab you, right? Just obvious up front. But in a situation where we're worried about clean water and food and stuff like that, I think it's a lot easier to band together if you are trying to secure those things, right? You're like, I'm trying to get the food and clean water. Who would like to help? And everyone's like, I'm also hungry and thirsty. I would like to help get some of the food and clean water.
It's quite simple.
And then, you know, pretty rapidly, the guy that's like, I'm fucking up your plans to get food and clean water, everybody's like, he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Get him.
That's not the guy. Yeah. Hammer Squad, fucking kill him.
Yeah, I think we have it a little bit easy because the modern radical left is so obviously out. Like, you can pretty much immediately tell who they are, right? Then any guy, a bro, age 18 to like 30-ish, is probably by default going to be a bro, right? Like, it just depends on kind of like, okay, what's the power level and how much can I trust this guy with? You need to start small, then build trust over time, right?
Mm.
It really depends on the situation, but I would just say, the radical lefties, it's like you can see the hair, you can see all this from a mile away. So in some ways, we're blessed, and in some ways, you just got to suss it out with the vibes, guys. For example, there might be feds in the chat right now. We see some of them. That could be. We don't know. We don't know.
Say hi. Say
One
hi
in
to the
three,
feds,
man.
boys. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Uh-oh.
Gotta be careful. Uh-oh, the cover's blown.
Yep.
Abort mission.
Please send me some of that good, sweet CIA money, please, and thank you. Fucking feds.
Daniel Defense
Yeah,
build.
one
Come
Daniel
on.
Defense DDM4, please and thank you. It's I'm just such an unhinged individual, I have all these crazy radical ideas such as, modern conservatism and Christianity, and you know what I'm saying, and family, and the nuclear family, you know what I'm saying? I just I'm so unhinged. I need a DDM4, please. So please, if we have any feds in the chat, go ahead and FedEx straight to my house, please. Thank you. I don't need to give you my address. You already have it.
You already know, right? You already know the details.
Very nice.
If you're in the chat, please dox me. No, I'm just kidding. So I know you're real. Don't do that. Don't actually do that. That's counterproductive. Anyway, so yeah, you know what I mean. So who can you trust? Who can you bring in? I mean, dude, it's like if you're the type of person that like I wouldn't want to at the very least hang out with, outside of a casual situation, casual encounter, fucking run into each other at the post office, the bar, fucking church, whatever. Then like, yeah, I'm not gonna trust you to sort of help me and help the greater good. There's an ideological fucking bar for entry here, where if you're not willing to help the greater good, or even acknowledge that there's necessarily a problem, or rather you do recognize that there is a problem and you're only seeking to gain selfishly, then yeah, you're not part of the Goon Squad, big dog. I'm sorry. Raider mentality is gay. It's cringe. Okay. That shit hasn't ever been cool. It will never be cool. So if that's something that I even kind of suss out in you, like in this sort of like hypothetical, I have 45 minutes to fucking put together a team to like, go down to the watering hole and fetch a pail of water to bring back to make a loaf of bread or some shit, then like, yeah, you're not invited,
Well, excessively aggressive individuals are a liability.
Yeah.
They will only bring unnecessary violence upon yourself and your tribe.
Yeah, that's a great point. Is like, who here is going to be as little of a liability as possible? Because not only do I have to worry about myself, if I'm the wholesome Chungus warlord in this sort of situation, you know what I'm saying? Like, then fucking nostalgia Stein. If I'm the wholesome Chungus warlord in this situation, then it's like I got to worry about the situation and completing the task at hand so that everybody else that I care about can get fed and whatnot. But I also need to worry about somebody that I'm working with making the situation exponentially worse. Then that's a fucking problem. You know what I mean? Demo Man Don for $4.99 says, "I wish to purchase 6 likes, please, and that noise." Purchase 6 likes. Yeah. You guys heard him. Hand it over. I gave him 1. We need 5 more. Please and thank you. And thank you, Demo Man, for that generous dollarino fucking dono. Let me see here. Let me move the talking points out of the way. I just realized they're kind of obscured. There we go. But yeah, that's kind of my bar for entry. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to agree on fucking everything. Okay? Like, this isn't like a, obviously certain people, and this is what I was saying, I'm like, these types of people are excluded from the question because we already know who they are. More than likely. Like, we're already associated, we're already acquainted, but we're like, in this sort of for this talking point, these people are unavailable, or you need to plus up on manpower or something like that to achieve whatever task at hand. You know, okay, so what now? We gotta open up the fucking tribe, as it were, so that other people can come in and they can help us, right? So, yeah, I guess like we don't have to 100% align, fucking ideologically, you know.
You have to align in the sense that you want to accomplish the same task, right? Which
Yeah.
is like if it's a natural disaster and we're hungry and thirsty, the task is get food and water. If there's rioters coming, the task is don't let our neighborhood get burned down.
Yeah.
If the Chinese just invaded, the goal is don't let China take over America.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. So as long as we can agree on that and then work together, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. We could sort the rest out later.
Is there a fart with reverb sound coming, King?
Yeah,
From the
yeah.
dono?
That is the standard donation noise right now. If
Okay.
you guys won't be able to hear it in the call, it's only played through YouTube.
On the YouTubes.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So it's been going. Okay.
Yeah, it's the
That's great.
standard fart reverb noise that everybody knows and loves.
That's a great one.
Yeah. Let's do a quick chat check before we move on here. Let's see. Becoming Danger says I could use a brand new Hilux from the Fed. Yeah, that would be cool, honestly. I wish we could get those here, man, but we have gay-ass EPA laws. Larva says make sure to post the nastiest memes so that your FBI agent has to look at them. Yeah. If he has access to my stash of memes, then you know we're in the same level of cognition retardation, so we've lost the same amount of brain cells together. Let's see here. Who's got something interesting to say here? Mike Tango Whiskey, common mission or enemy aligns interests. Always. Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, we could hash out the small shit or the unrelated shit later. You know what I'm saying? We don't need to be fucking look, if we're getting invaded by China, okay, and I only have a few fucking good homies that I can lean on, but you know, if I go over to my neighbor's house who has a fucking Kamala Harris poster out in their front yard and they're just like, I'm going to literally eradicate the bug man. I'm just like, dude, you're in. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
like welcome aboard. Like, we could figure out the rest later.
Yeah, we'll vote Democrat or Republican after we're done with China.
Whatever, yeah. Once we reestablish the two-party system, you can do whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? So, it's, yeah. And ND Jew says, need Risky Krisky to join y'all. Yeah, I don't know. I messaged him on Twitter. He never messaged me back, so.
The guy, I think he's like, he's out or whatever. I don't have any special information, so if I'm wrong, forgive me. But as far as I'm aware, I don't see him lurking in any circles that I'm in or hear of. I think he's stepped away pretty fully and completely.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And I think he's like perma-banned from everything. He did DM me on Instagram at one point. I will admit, okay,
Solid.
I'm up on the watch list, but yeah, I don't know. I could DM him, whatever. But I think he's like even worse than like certain like right-wing influencers. I don't know if he's
up there. He's up there with.
What did he do? Was it just the time period that he was posting? I'm not trying to steal clout away. I feel like I say
saw
shit
something-
and it's more wild, and people will be like, "Get that shit off the internet right now."
Yeah.
No,
And I don't even
saw
have
some
anything.
videos where he was like starting to crash out, and I know guys were like, "Hey, dude, don't go down this road." Like I saw that tail end of it, so it was kind of the COVID era. I think had a little bit to do with it, but it was a crash out. I think that's highly likely, and I don't know. I could be talking out my ass. So if anybody knows exactly what happened, feel free to let us know. But I don't know, boys.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm
Yeah.
very intrigued at how to get canceled. I keep I keep pushing the limits. I'm like, where's the line?
Yeah.
I think you're pretty tanked, dude. It's good info. It's good stuff. I watch
Yeah,
it.
it's very educational for sure, but I feel like that would be the shit that they would want off. They'd be like, go back to talking about fucking new Glock accessories. Stop teaching harassing fire.
Hold
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they care under a certain point, and I don't think I'm at that point either. So.
Yeah. Anyways, back on topic.
Hold on,
Anyways,
I'm
one thing I'll
banning
say
a
about
goober
vetting
from the chat
people-
real quick. Hold on.
Hot.
He's posting cringe. Let's see here. There we
He
go.
has to go back, get him out.
No, his. I'm gonna be honest. I checked out his channel. It reeked of third world, scammers. So I had to get him out of here. We don't have feds here. We just have third world Punjabi scammers in the chat. So, yeah, it
Like
is what it
cockroaches.
is. He's gone now. The threat has been neutralized.
They have to go back, folks. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, to kind of recap here. So, who can you trust? Who can you bring in? I mean, dude. No, I didn't ban you, T Swift. You're still fucking here. I'm literally reading your comment. Yeah, he told. Yeah, no, that guy's a fucking idiot. Don't ever click on like links that random brand new accounts try to send you. That's fucking bullshit. Come on, dude. First time on the internet. Come on. Anyway, so.
Grandpa.
Oh shit, Dogman Actual. Get the fucking AR up. God, that was so funny. Recap the question. God, getting off topic here already. We're only fucking how long ago did we start? Fucking 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes in and we're already fucking getting off the rails here. Who can you trust or who can you bring in? Yeah, I think we could kind of, generally speaking, suss people out pretty quickly. But I guess it kind of depends on what the severity of the situation is necessarily. You know what I mean? Like, is this an armed or unarmed sort of task, which was what we're going to talk about next, you know what I'm saying? But, those are something to kind of take into consideration, because it's like, if there's going to be an armed individual that I'm going to trust with like either like a security, defensive sort of role or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Ideally, you were able to fucking close that gap socially before this time of tribulation happened. You know what I mean? So, but if not, then I mean, if you guys, I guess the big thing is common goal, right? You're starving, I'm starving. Let's work together. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see you starve. You don't want to see me starve. We could work together. I don't like Chinese paratroopers in my backyard as much as you. Let's work together. So, I guess that's kind of like a big one. Is just common goals, and then understanding, like, because this is something that kind of falls on you, I guess, or rather, it could really help you, is to kind of be able to put bullshit things to kind of cause a divide aside. Like I said, I'm like, we don't have to agree on everything. We don't have to be 100% ideologically aligned. So why, kind of jip yourself out of like the help because you're like, oh my god, like this guy's fucking, this guy's a Democrat. But it doesn't help change the fact that there's literally Chinese paratroopers in your backyard. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, if y'all agree on that, on the important shit, then why not fucking, work together and get the fucking problem at hand solved, and then address the fucking bullshit later. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if they're like you brought up, GWAT, if they are, the sort of aggressor, in that situation where it's like this person is overly aggressive, this person, seems like they're kind of a loose cannon, whatever, then it's like that's probably not somebody you want to work with anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, if anything can set them off, or they say they want to white knuckle everything and they want to be in control, then it's like, look, I'm not trying to be fucking dictator here. I just want to work together towards a common goal, and if they can't get with that, then that's probably not somebody you want to work with or bring into your circle necessarily. So, anything else to add before we move on to the next one, gentlemen?
Yeah, last point I'll make real quick before we move on to specific stuff is that historically, anytime anything happens, like a war breaks out or whatever, all the people that then fight in that war, like 80% of them didn't plan to before the event happened, right? What happens is a bunch of, 16 to 26-year-olds get thrust into the situation that didn't previously exist. And if that situation didn't exist, they would be playing video games, going to college, chasing girls around, whatever the case is, right? So if thing happens here that creates a prolonged situation, we'll see the same thing. All of the 18 to 26-year-olds that you've been trying to get to go shoot with you and stuff that said, nah, they're good, they're too busy playing Fortnite or whatever, all of a sudden that's going to be way less important, and event that happened is going to be way more important.
Well, I'll add a little bit of something, OG, if that's okay.
Of course.
I was talking to an individual. They were former Antifa, and I have no reason to doubt them, what they were telling me. Antifa is a nationwide network. It's decentralized. Everybody does their own thing, but it is very much a real thing. And what they will do is they will have people on the street who first take a look at people who are maybe interested in guns, and will start funneling people in just based on kind of that interest, or kind of the left-leaning kind of like anarchy politics in general. And what happens from there, this is what they told me, is you will go into either a Discord or a Telegram chat, and they will grill you pretty seriously on what your views are. And the reason for that is they don't want infiltrators in. And the reason I'm telling people this is I think we should adopt some of these strategies. I think we should start playing the same game as they do. But before you even get invited to like a John Brown gun club or whatever the meetups they do, you're in that chat for a little while, and then you progress to like, okay, here's tier 2, here's tier 3 of like, hey, what do you believe? What would you do if this happened? So there is a pretty serious level of vetting that they do even before they show up with a gun and start training with people. And I think, exercising a little bit of caution, it kind of makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Nah. If you have the time, to vet somebody like that, then that pays itself in dividends, which is right now. You have the time to kind of build that network and build that community now. You should, if you're not training for worst case scenario, for whatever, if prepping isn't a social thing for you to some degree, I'm not saying exclusively, you're it's a hobby sort of deal, like, oh yeah, I just hang out with my friends, like, I'm saying, if you don't prep and have friends that prep locally, you need to check that box. This is a PSA. Like, that is something that you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Because, or rather, it is a goal. You need to fucking do that. And don't think that, oh well, I'm not squared away enough. I don't have enough shit on hand. My personal goals aren't met yet, so I don't think I really have a lot to bring to the table. Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Because this is literally what we're talking about right now. Is the fucking, we're talking about, okay, I'm the high-speed LARPer prepper fucking Goonsday fucking warlord. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to bring people in to sort of help with the common cause, the common issue that we're all facing here. Why not wait until that long? Fucking do it now, while you still can, while things are comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, and in the same vein, meet people that are ideologically aligned, at least to the point where it's just like, hey, we have a common goal of, I want to be prepared for fucking bullshit events. You also want to be prepared for bullshit events. Let's fucking be friends. That's where it literally starts. It doesn't need to, there's no fucking bar for entry for that. It's just, you just do it. Okay, so, gentlemen, if you can, I would say, don't wait on that. Don't kick that can down the road. Fucking actually get out there, start meeting people. Fucking, obviously, you don't need to, do crazy, like, Michigan militia shit. Like, I'm saying, like, it just, if you got friends who, like, are into gardening, or you got friends who are into shooting, or you got friends that are into fucking canning, like, whatever. Fucking, if they have that mindset, if the seeds have been planted, then you can nurture them, and you can definitely develop a very useful sort of relationship out of that. And it doesn't need to purely be that, obviously. It could just be good camaraderie as well. But it's regardless still useful. So we also have a question here from the chat. Okay, so and I thought this was a good question. So this is from Paul Hobson. He says, question: if capable and willing, would learning, setting up, and stashing encrypted comms be worth it for a hypothetical SHTF scenario, even if in peaceful times you cannot use them with a ham license?
Is this bait? Is this like the Fed agent bait? It must be. No, I don't. I don't think it's, the emergency thing is a thing, right?
Yeah.
The thing about comms is you are a little pebble being thrown into a pond. What do I mean by that? Your radio signature is going to spread out from wherever you hit that transmit button, and it only takes a couple antennas to narrow down where you are to a couple of locations. They have 3, they can triangulate you immediately. So I think rather than comms like that, the gentleman who asked that, I would say just have a procedure in place of, okay, if X happens, my family and I is going to go here, right? And I would just have that plan down so that you guys know it up here, so nobody can hack that, not yet, and work on those type of procedures.
G1?
Yep. Yeah. What he's talking about, which is amazing, is called condition set planning, and it's how you should be doing all of your emergency and battle plans, right? To where if we can communicate, if we can shoot flares or throw visual panels at each other, that's great. But really, even if we can't communicate at all, it's when this thing, excuse me, when this thing happens, you do this. When you complete that task, then I do this, right? When I see that you are on the bridge, I then advance to the building. When we no longer can communicate via cell phone or email, we will go to the bug out location, which is this place. We don't have to set up a radio and talk to each other. Cell phones don't work. Email doesn't work. Get in the car. Let's go to the bug out location. Right. Whatever the case is, right? The point is it's condition set planning, and that is massive, 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 huge. So pay attention to that. Try and incorporate that in like everything you do. Wow, I'm drawing a blank because I got so focused on that. What was the original question?
The buzzword. We're talking about encrypted comms for SHTF, stashing them if ham is not available, or not using a ham license, yada yada.
Yes, for sure. First of all, encrypted comms are great. Why you can use encrypted comms with a ham license. So I don't know if you have a ham license, but you're talking about like you can use AES 256 with just your regular general or operators, whatever the first one is. Yeah, that's totally legal and fine. Yeah, well, GMRS is like $10, and you don't have to take a test. And then there's one you have to take a test there to get your actual ham license. Mm-hmm. But there's a bunch of online resources. It's not hard. Also, encrypted comms, they won't be able to hear what you're saying, which is good, right? Unless it's like the CIA, then they're going to crack all the encryption. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But if you're worried about somebody else with the walkie-talkie listening to your walkie-talkie and you encrypt it, it'll just sound like whenever they pick up your transmission. Mm-hmm. However, like my boy here was talking about, no matter whether it's encrypted or not, they can triangulate your position and see the word using a radio. So if you're like behind enemy lines trying to be sneaky, encrypting your comms really doesn't fucking matter because they're still going to figure out somebody's transmitting from over there and come drop artillery on you or whatever, right?
Yes.
In the sense of what up, Bones? In the sense of in the sense of like an emergency or any whatever, any sort of situation like that, passing out walkie-talkies and having walkie-talkies to pass out, I think is massive, is huge. I have some you can probably see right behind me over here, behind my mushrooms coming out of the pocket. And the FCC, okay, real quick, the FCC, what they control all of the radio waves, right? So radio waves are this huge thing that there's lots of different types, big waves, short waves, small waves, right? To do everything from your cell phone to your TV to the radio station to walkie-talkies to like your clicker that lets your garage door down, right? And the reason that we can have all these things stacked on top of each other and not interfering so that your TV changes its channel every time your neighbor's trying to open his garage door is because the FCC has, like, you guys are allowed to do from this frequency to this frequency is these things, from this frequency to this frequency is these things, right? All their laws and regulations are about deconflicting all of the radio wave use. Point being, if you aren't causing a problem, right? If you aren't fucking up somebody else's transmissions or jamming somebody's signal or whatever the case is, they're not going to come like arrest you just because you used a radio without a license or you were on the wrong frequency for 10 minutes. They'll come arrest you if you build a fucking jammer and you start jamming your neighbor's TV signal or jamming the local ham radio repeater because you're pissed off at people. That's when the FCC will triangulate you and come fuck you up. So if you're being, reasonable, cordial, once every now and again, just on a radio with, not 1,000 watts of power, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you're good. No one cares. They'll never know. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, unless you're in a boomer neighborhood where fox hunts are a thing.
But even then, so a bunch of grandpas will find you and be like, "You're not supposed to be using that," and you'll say,
and then you're like, "Get the fuck off my property,"
and that's the end.
Yeah, it's not just FCC. Everyone can find you, even like the dedicated hobbyist.
Yeah, literally, they make a hobby out of it, dude. Like, fuck. Like, that's what I was gonna say. There's no such thing as a fully encrypted sort of set of comms. You know what I'm saying? So like, it having good fucking OPSEC. It starts with just how you're transmitting, when you're transmitting, things like that. So. Yeah, I like that's how my personal goon squad, handles all of that bullshit. Is like we just assume this was like an SOP that I really drove home, was just like, always assume that your radio activity is monitored actively fucking monitored. And another point that I wanted to bring up that you inspired me for, GWatt, was the whole like triangulation and then dropping a fucking 155 right on your keister as soon as you hit that talk button, is basically that's a real consideration that like the modern military is preparing for right now. Is that like they're if you guys did your homework and you watched that Bear Independent video that I told you about like a week ago, where he brought that up, where he's like, in terms of medevac and casevac and stuff like that, where the being able to transmit telecommunications is going to be either limited or not at all available because of that sort of threat. That and airspace priority isn't something that's going to be promised. So
it'll make communications a whole, like, almost like its own battle drill. Yes. It won't just be now you talk on the radio. It'll be like, now execute battle drill, send a transmission over the radio.
Yeah.
Like for real.
And hope that it works. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like,
I have some things
the frequency shit. It's going to be contested like a motherfucker.
Yep.
Because it's like, even, and I'm talking like, military versus military. Now imagine, SHTF, where you're definitely not the top of the fucking totem pole. Okay. Like, you don't have the top of the line comms, regardless of whatever fucking shit you think you have. You don't. Like, that's why I just say, I'm like, assume all of your comms are not encrypted. That's why it's like, why even go through the trouble? You need to find like ulterior ways to fucking communicate than just a radio in a fucking squad setting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
sure.
maybe have better methods of communication that don't rely on electricity. I'm not saying this needs to be like the only fucking way. I mean, if you can get away with it, then yes, it's a huge asset. It's a huge tool that you could take advantage of. But I'm saying, if it's something that could be, if your greatest strength is also possibly your greatest downfall, it needs to not be your greatest strength.
For sure.
Is what I'm trying to say. So, if you're like, you were gonna rely on this as this big huge crutch, where it's like, this is this asset, my fucking trump card that I'm gonna pull out, and it's gonna be, used in my favor. We're gonna have fucking encrypted comms and shit like that, and it's not actually encrypted, and we're fucked because we didn't actually even use an ounce of OPSEC while transmitting messages over the net and shit like that we thought was encrypted, but it turned out to be snatched out of the air immediately, or we got triangulated and then somebody got fucking balled up and interrogated, and that was that. You know what I mean?
If you guys are just getting the Baofeng out of the mail, and and transmit. Number one, you're probably not on a legal frequency for you. You shouldn't be on GMRS, FMRS anyway because you have a removable antenna and there's too much power. But number two, you are probably using way too much power. Okay, so it's kind of like, and this was good advice from Garantham: use as little as you need. I would stick to the FMRS, GMRS frequencies because that's probably in SHTF. That's probably what local authorities will be monitoring anyway, like to see if grandma fell and broke her hip or something. So you guys should learn those. If you don't know what they are, you should learn about them and start listening. Costs nothing to listen, by the way. So
Yep.
a lot of easy ways to do that as well.
Legal to listen, and there's lots of programs and stuff. So even if you buy radio equipment, you can listen. So a couple of quick things to talk about rapid fire just on comms, if we don't mind. Using brevity codes, which we already talked about, right? So if you're on the attack, right? So you're shooting at people and stuff. So they know you're there. It's not a surprise that you're there, and you're like move to phase line blue. I'm in building 32. Craig, push left. Like they know you're there. So like triangulating position means nothing, and they don't know. None of that is relevant by the time they try to figure out what the fuck that means. You've already done that and are on to the next thing, right? So once you're like on an attack, radio comms, you pretty much can say whatever as long as you're not a complete fucking idiot and passing over critical like location information or whatever.
It's like the strip club when I tell you guys look but don't touch. It's kind of like that.
if you are trying to be sneaky about sending communications, the two easiest things you can do, like you're not on the attack and you need to talk over the radio. If you have nothing, transmit and then move, right? Talk on the radio and then fucking walk like a click away immediately. As soon as you're done talking, now you move to another location. So it doesn't matter that everybody figured out you're right there because you're not there anymore. The other one requires a bit more technical ability, but really not too much. You can even do this with like Baofengs and your cell phone or whatever. But push a data packet. So rather than get on the radio and for 2 minutes talk about, oh, we saw this and this is what happened and we need water and blah, 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 and find us at this grid, you can type all that up on a data packet, push it over the radio, and it's just like a tenth of a second that the mic keys and it sends that data over the radio, and then they can get a whole fucking page readout of all your reporting and what you need and where you'll be. That would have taken you like 15 minutes to talk over the radio, and it's a lot. Unless somebody has really advanced automated technology, there's a high likelihood they're going to miss that data burst transmission.
Yep.
And then lastly, real quick, using directional antennas and or repeaters as well can help throw off your position. Okay, so a repeater is a big powerful antenna super high up on top of a mountain or whatever, right? So if your little tiny handheld radio can reach it, it's going to then boom that message out far. Also, if somebody picks up the signal from the repeater and they triangulate it, they're going to triangulate the repeater's location, not yours. It's only if they pick up your radio signal. I have to draw to understand that, but the repeater helps mask it. The other thing you can do is most antennas are omnidirectional, which means they're just booming out in a big circle. If you can get a directional antenna, right, and then so you're like shooting a beam of radio signal, and unless somebody's standing in that beam, they're not going to be able to pick up your signal, right? So if I'm using, real quick, right, if I'm using data burst and I'm data bursting from my radio with a directional antenna to a big repeater that it has a directional antenna, to another repeater with a directional antenna that then my guys at the HQ are picking up with a directional antenna, right? We have one line from this repeater, one line from those repeaters, and then one line down to my HQ, and we're sending a data burst, so it's just like 1 second of beep, 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 beep. So unless you're standing right in one of those lines and looking at right that second, you're not even going to realize that happened. Just to quick throw some things out there about how to comms OPSEC.
Got a couple donos here. Wacky waveable inflatable arm flailing tube man for $2 says dead drops and planned out non-electric comms for the win. Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and that works. That works. Yeah, that's definitely something that should be part of your comms plan, because like you said, I just use pace. It's a simplified way to sort of tier out. How gay can shit get? You have your primary plan and so on. That in terms of your comms plan, that should be part of it. You know what I'm saying? Is the Baofeng, your $20 Baofeng took a big wet stinky shit like they usually do, and they stopped working. So fucking now we
Yeah,
gotta figure out what to do.
I was watching a Black Flag civilian because I like to see what the lefties are talking about, and he was recommending a Baofeng and how to
Hell yeah,
encrypt
dude.
it. And guys were in the comments saying, "Weren't those cracked from the factory? Like there was some kind of a leak a few months ago." So yeah,
Yeah.
be very cautious about
It's
the
not
Bao
good.
game, guys. Not good. I think everyone who bought a Baofeng is going to get a little Kung Pao surprise as soon as they get transmit when shit kicks off.
Kung
So
Pao
look out.
surprise, yeah.
Extra spicy delivery coming
Yeah.
straight to your house.
Yep, you got a one-way ticket to the labor camp, bucko. Fuck yeah. And then from Phil Cooter, I don't understand how to say your last name here. Phil. Phil says, I followed FCC rules once, and now I'm black and gay. Sorry to hear about that, but I hope you get that figured out. Thank you for the donation.
10 illegal transmissions, you should feel better.
Yeah. We was breaking the FCC law and shit. Anyway, so, yeah. Quick side tangent. Good question, though. Definitely. That was something that I was going to make a stream all on its own. Was talking about having a comms plan and shit like that. So if you guys want to hear about that, go ahead and yap off in the comments. But yeah, fucking please like the stream, guys. There's fucking 57 people here and only 34 likes. That is a huge strike to my ego. I'm literally shaking and crying right now. I won't be able to go to sleep tonight until that like button says at least 50 fucking people. It costs you guys nothing. Anyway, so getting back on topic here. Let's see here. Yeah, we talked about who we could trust, who we could bring in terms of people that are outside of our established goon network. So now we have those people. Okay, we got our pool of conscribed individuals, and we're like, you know what, this guy, he's literally like 64 years old. He's a diabetic, and he fucking can't pull his own weight for shit necessarily, but his heart's in the right spot. Yeah, I think he might be useful. So what can we do with him? Where can we put him? Type shit like that. So the question here is, what situations would it be worth? What situations would it be worth it to bring in non-goons, and what situations should you not bring them in instead of reducing the scope of your operation? So, these non-goon individuals, all right, these people that are like, I don't know, they're not frontliners. So, what do you do with them necessarily, and is it worth it to bring people like that in?
Yeah, I mean, again, depending on the greater messy of the situation, but someone's got to cook food, someone's got to purify water, someone's got to do laundry, someone's got to potentially grow or catch the food, somebody, so on and so forth. There's many administrative tasks that must be happening, as spotters and drivers are real easy ones too, that don't require you to be anything physical, and typically the less tactical you look, right? If you're a 12-year-old girl or like a 90-year-old grandma, that's a pretty peak spotter, because nobody's going to think that they're part of the boys spotting for him or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Conscription for non-goons. I mean, yeah. I don't think that's necessarily someone. I think that's going to be most people, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like your average fucking Joe Schmo. I think we'll definitely be pleasantly unsurprised at how many people are like, yep, they're all normies. You know what I mean? Like we're gonna come to that conclusion pretty fucking quick that most
turns
of the
out SEAL
people,
Team 6 didn't live in my neighborhood.
God damn it. You know what I mean? Like, wrong, foiled again, So, like, what are you going to do? And it's, like you said, I mean, there's, for one, this is something that I always hark on a lot is, trigger pulling and, like, the cool guy shit that we all like to fantasize about, whatever, that makes up fucking just the most minute amount of SHTF, worst case scenario, blah, blah, blah. Like, dude. Chat.
Oh yeah.
That like stop. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, there's so much more to this, and understanding that is gonna save your fucking life. Like, I'm trying to help you, motherfucker. I'm trying to save your soul, brother. You know what I'm saying? So fucking don't be so quick to cut somebody off just because they're not in the same headspace as you. Where, oh yeah, I'm just here to shoot the bad man. There's raiders coming. We're gonna kill them. We're gonna blow them up. We're gonna blow up the raiders when they come into our neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna make it. They're not gonna make it, pal. And it's like, okay, if somebody isn't that, but they're like, hey, I'll I'll chop wood for the fucking, community
Yep.
campfire. I'll fucking, move shit, or like, hey, I'm a fucking electrician, and if you got solar power, I could fucking set that shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many fucking like useful skills and assets that regular fucking people have that you need to understand. You know, for whatever fucking reason, if you're in this position of like, okay, you're organizing stuff, um, you know, don't cut those people off. They are useful. They're useful to society now because they help make societies function. Well, guess what? You're in a fucking society, dickhead. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, the society didn't just go away because the power went out.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, if it's a power out situation, then we have to recuperate all the utilities, right? We need all the people that are going to fix stuff, mechanics, people to fix houses, electricity, plumbing, et cetera, carpenters.
yep,
We need school teachers. We need fucking people to procure the food. We need people to prep the food. We need people to purify the water. We need hygiene happening, right? Who's going to take the trash? Where are we going to do with the trash? Who's going to do that with the trash?
hmm
Et cetera, et cetera. All the stuff has to
yes,
happen still.
yeah. The cool guy shit that you're so fucking worried about, like I said, makes up this much of the fucking pie graph, and then you got to worry about the rest of it, right? Well, everybody else is capable of doing the rest of it. And like I said, don't cut those people off, because you're not going to be doing yourself any favors. Even in the worst case scenario, where there's bug men falling from the sky, you know what I'm saying, into your fucking backyard. Like, that's going to be a very long and strenuous operation, where the people who are doing that fucking high speed shit are going to need help from the people who aren't doing the high speed shit, right?
Yep.
It's the fucking tip of the spear is supported by the fucking rest of the fucking, handle, essentially. Like, I'm
Yep.
trying to find a fucking great and artistic way to sort
The
of paint
shaft.
this picture. You know what I mean?
The tip of the spear cannot be thrust lethally without the stiff shaft behind it. Without
Exactly.
that stiff shaft,
That
baby.
stiff ass shaft, dude. Fuck. So, yeah.
Drones as well. So I just popped on my mind,
Mm,
right? The
mhm.
future is now. Everybody that's building drones, flying drones, building surprise packages to be carried by the drones, right? Those are all probably not door kickers.
Yeah. Yeah. That could be your you know, 55-year-old uncle who's retired on full disability and has a $2,000 fucking flight chair set up in his living room, and that's all he does all day. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like, fucking just flight
Drone
sims
pilot
and shit.
supreme.
Uh-huh. So he was made for the shit. So, yeah, larva. There you go. A spear is mostly shaft. Dog.
Sure is.
Sure as shit is, dog. Hey, fucking God bless. That was a fucking good one. I wish I could say cool shit like that sometimes.
The
um,
the other the other position is like in the defense, right?
mhm,
Actually defending your home. If you can stand up and shoot a gun, you
yeah,
can man a sandbagged position or an elevated position, right? Are all those hunters? I'm in the South. All those hunters that are you're in the Midwest. I'm sure it's the same
mhm,
thing.
yep,
Been too fat from drinking all the beers in the deer stand, but they can fucking crack a deer at 2, 3, 400 yards,
oh
right?
yeah,
Well, awesome. Here's
mhm,
here's your deer strand. You crack Chinese men now. No.
all right, go nuts, fucking a,
For real though, but yeah, in the defense, ring the siren. They're at the gates. It's all hands on deck. Everybody capable
yeah,
of standing up and pulling trigger, get to
mhm,
your spot and be pulling them triggers.
yes, yes, very, very, very true, very true. Um, and so part of the question here was, what situations would you not bring them in instead of reducing the scope of your operation?
in a more guerrilla context
Yeah.
where they basically when they have a lot to lose, right?
Mm.
Just like we were talking about Antifa. Antifa is actively right now operating like a guerrilla organization, which is why it's like you can't even officially don't even exist because you have to get like 5 levels deep to realize that they're actually an organization that's for real, for real. Before that, they lie to you and say they're not,
Hmm.
right? And you get multiple levels of vetting before you even show up in person, right? Because that's how you have to operate if you're actually worried about because you let one wrong guy in and now it's all shut down. The
Compromised.
whole cell is compromised. It would have been way better to just have the 3 dudes, the 4 dudes, whatever, and just done what you can with that than be so eager to invite everybody along.
Hmm. Yeah. Big true. Big true. Yeah. If this is sort of like the you know, if society still operates as normal during some sort of what would you say? Um, I don't want to just say conflict, but you know,
Yeah, let's say the Chinese take over. Let's make it easy. So just blame
yeah.
it on somebody foreign, so it's okay that we shoot them. So the Chinese, the Chinese take over. The Chinese take over, right? But they
Uh-huh.
do it in a fell swoop, and so now there's like CCP tanks and everywhere, PLA tanks and everywhere, and stuff like that. You have to go through Chinese checkpoints, but just like how we set up in Iraq and Afghanistan and all that, they allow we can go. Walmart's still open. You can drive to Walmart. You might have to drive through a Chinese
Still got to
checkpoint,
go to work.
but as long as you're not doing anything funny business, no big deal. Just takes you an extra 5 minutes to get around places, and that's life, right? Well, some of us are going to be like, "Fuck no, Snake.
Hmm.
I'm not playing this game." But a lot of people are going to be like, I actually just want to put food on the table for my kids tomorrow. I
Hmm.
don't care who's in charge.
Yeah.
So that would be a scenario that we can talk about where you would have to selectively pick your guerrilla fighters so
Hmm.
you could shoot the foreign enemies from
Yes.
China.
Truly. And even then, like those people, those non-combatant type people, if they're still ideologically aligned to you, they're still useful. You know what I'm saying?
Safe
The
houses, pickup
intelligence,
locations,
the
drop
the
offs.
the intelligence fucking assets are still very real. You know what I'm saying? They're walking intelligence nodes. So they're
Just
sniffing
requires a
out.
lot of vetting.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Which if allowed, could be one way. Where they can just kind of transfer information, and you don't need to transfer information. It's not
Sure,
transactory
sure.
in that way.
Just a feed.
Sure, yeah, it's I can't really find a lot of reasons necessarily to try and exclude people, because this is gonna sound like some sociopath shit, but it's like everybody can be useful to your own advantage in some way, shape, or form, even if they're not in the same camp as you. You need to get good at like turning everything to your advantage and using people to your advantage. And I mean that like in the nicest way possible, not like the sociopathic fucking use people type shit, or not the raider mentality use people, but like the use people of like, you're not really wishing harm on anybody. You're fucking,
The sad truth is most people are useful idiots.
yeah.
So if there's a situation, there's a power vacuum, and those useful idiots are looking to be used, somebody's going to start using them. Do you want that to be the bad guys, or do you want it to be you?
Yeah. Big true. Big true. Um, Nostalgia Stein says, jumps on Chinese tank with fun jacket. Witness me! Yeah, that guy's going straight to the front lines, dog. Straight up. Yeah, rebel spirit. Find people's individual strengths. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, nobody. I won't say nobody because that's definitely not true, but there's very few people that are truly fucking useless. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are for the cause, as in you don't want to see me die, you don't want to see the people that are in your community die, for whatever reason, then and you have the willpower to do something. Though that's the two fucking like boxes you got to check right there. You don't want to see me die, and you're willing to do something about it. Like, great. That's it. That's all you fucking need. Like, even if it's like as something as you said, like, dude, fucking get in the kitchen and help fucking cook. Get in the kitchen and help take out the trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking just it's the little things. It really is. It's the fucking little things. It's like it becomes a society on a fucking smaller scale, if it's just a neighborhood or something like that. You know what I mean? So, um, correct, Nostalgia Stein. Christ is indeed king. Haven't said that yet in the stream. Thank you for reminding me. We got a dono here from Wacky Waveable. The fucking notification sound. The Wacky Waveable Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Man, $5. He says, unfortunately, Op4 are beating us in the readiness and intel race. We're on the back foot, having to learn and adapt by our enemy's example.
The left uses violence like a dial, so they will scale violence up and down, which they've done both repeatedly for the last 15 years or so. And so they point being is that they think that they can use violence without it being full scale, and so they are actively, to them the war is going. It's been happening. It's ongoing. It's going now, right? These Antifa guys, like if you go talk to them, like they're at war. They've been at war. Okay, so the right doesn't feel that way. The right violence is like a switch. It's either all the way off or all the way on. There's no like, I'm going to go shoot a little bit, but then I still want to have to, take my kids to school tomorrow. The right's like, whenever it's time, it's like mobilize, uniform, march on the enemy, clear out the town, no survivors. And so we're very, very delayed in our response to that, which is why we haven't. So our switch is off while they're over there playing with the dial. Now they're getting pretty fucking close to flipping our switch on, which is going to be a huge surprise. And ultimately what I have to say, right, is I'm confident that if and when, hopefully it doesn't, but if that moment happens, there's definitely going to be a learning period. There's definitely going to be a build-up period, blah, 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 blah. Of course, it's not just going to happen immediately overnight, but much more effectively and much larger scale and much more rapidly than the left was able to do. Just like the dial on the switch analogy, the right is going to go from everybody's going to work tomorrow to we're in organized militias advancing with battle plans and interlocked communications. That will literally happen seemingly like a switch comparatively to how the left has been dialing violence up and down. If and when that day ever comes.
Yeah. It's, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of like the whole prepper mentality. You know what I'm saying? Is like worst case scenario where it's just like we just have all these tools in our toolbox, and we're just like, I don't know, it's just kind of there in case things get real bad. And then you'll just see, what you'll see is you won't see like a whole blanket reaction by everybody. You'll see certain groups of people or certain people kind of just like a switch will turn and they're like, okay, the worst has come. And then it will just be everything everywhere at once for that person. You know what I'm saying? The conservative crash out, as it were, will be unmatched by 100 fucking alt left fucking retards. You know what I mean? Like, not God. This is totally a demonetization stream speed run, but like, it's true though. It is true though. It's the analogy of violence being a switch for anybody who's on the right side of the political compass is 100% true. We don't, and I say we as a conservative person, obviously. I always hark, like, violence is not an answer to 99% of problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, even the rioting in like my hometown type shit from leftist fucking psychopaths is not something that I'm going to respond with violence, because if you watched my last video, that's called playing their game. That's playing them on their turf. You know what I'm saying? That violence, that rioting is an invitation. Hey, overreact. Do something worse. It's provocation. Don't fucking fall for it.
I think if the right gets their flip switched, it will be literally because they are forced to it. Basically, by what I mean by that is the left will continue to get more flagrant with their tactics until they are, as they've been saying they're going to for years now, until they're literally going through mostly Republican subdivisions and like dragging people out of their house and shit, and the cops are not doing anything about it. You will then see militias say nope, and they will secure the areas that are necessary. And when the switch problem is that once that happens, that's it. The militias took over. They're saying fuck you Antifa, fuck you local PD. we are in charge now.
Yeah,
Says
right.
me and 100 of my coolest friends.
100 of my pedophiliac and felonious friends. You know what I'm saying? Fucking let's see here. We got mid-tier thoughts in the chat. A fellow schizophrenic LARPer. He says resistance movements will always need back alley doctors, suppliers, runners, messengers, drivers, propaganda, guys buying goods, guys buying goodwill, etc. And then he says, historically speaking, the intel gathered by resistance movements being passed on to conventional forces, or quote, those who can take action, end quote, has had a larger impact on the limited direct action of them. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Was like everybody's an intelligence node. You know what I'm saying? As Larva said, so smartly and so coolly said, you know, the spear is mostly shaft. Anyway, you know what I'm saying? Like, all the damage is on one point, but you know, there's so much behind it that helped get it there in the first place. So, 100% agree with you there. So to
Yeah.
bring it back on towards the question here, I can't think of many situations where I would want to descale the involvement of people, because any sort of SHTF situation, you know, where you're relying on other people for help, the more the merrier, for the most part. However, you know, if you have to, if being 100% ideologically aligned is a matter of life and death, then obviously minimizing the scope of your operation is necessary. Any other final comments on that before we move on to the next one?
Yeah, just, you know, if you're doing a guerrilla operation, only letting the people they need to know is huge, which could be seen as minimizing the support everybody's able to give you, right? Because you're not going to let everybody know everything. And then the other one is if you're doing more traditional infantry, light fighter type stuff, and you're going on the offense, right? We're going out on patrol. We're going out to get into a gunfighter attack. We're only going to be bringing people that are physically fit and at least capable of operating their weapon systems effectively. Right? If you aren't those two things, you can't come play. Sorry.
You're not invited. You're fat and retarded.
It's what
Yeah,
it is, homie.
but that's definitely
When
like
life's on the line is not the time to be politically correct.
yeah. That's the exclusion, you know, the exception, not the rule. In most situations,
Right.
I would
Yes.
argue. You know what I'm saying? So
Just very, very specific things that I'm talking about, right?
very,
Running a guerrilla operation, going out to do offensive stuff.
yeah, very, very true. Yeah, that's not an inclusivity sort of event.
Nope.
64 homies watching right now. Guys, please
Whoop,
like
whoop.
the stream. Go into the description. Click on some links. I hear cool stuff happens when you click on those links. Check out GWatch channel. He posts literally 95 videos per day. It seems like your ability to maintain a high tempo upload schedule always amazes me, because I upload quarterly, it seems like. So your ability to do that is fucking incredible to me.
Just
And
rant
it's
at the
always
webcam at
bangers,
4 a.m.
dude.
whenever I have time.
But it's always bangers, though. It's always fucking bangers. So yeah, guys, please like the stream. Check out the links in the description. Consider becoming a channel member if you like what you see here. Yeah, Dart, listen, bro. Fucking welcome to GunTube, bro. Where it's called fucking silencing. All right. You could turn the fucking notification on and you won't hear shit. If you want this is another shameless plug here. If you guys want to actually get notified when I do these lives, get in the fucking Discord and make sure you don't turn off fucking notifications, because I literally tag everybody in the Discord. Hey, I'm going live in 30 minutes, or hey, I'm going live in an hour. Like, you'll know about it. And not only that, fucking you get to hang out with cool guys, like-minded dudes, totally not feds, I swear. Fucking and you know, bounce ideas like this off each other, have good discussions, fucking share some memes, yada yada. So yeah, if you guys want to fucking catch these streams when they happen from the beginning, my best suggestion to you is to get in the Discord, because I will literally personally notify everybody when it happens. So, yeah, the Discord is fetty. No, it's not. It's literally like, no, it's not. Don't say that.
Listen, all the feds are trying to do is get you to agree to blow somebody up. So just don't do that.
Which literally
When somebody-
doesn't happen in the Discord. I don't
When
allow
somebody
that to happen.
DMs you, when somebody DMs you and is like, "Hey, I have a bomb. Want to come over?" Say
Yeah.
no.
You just say no. Yeah.
Say no. I would not like to kidnap any political officials tomorrow. Thank you. Have a good day.
You literally
Fed proof.
just need to not step into the bear trap. That's all you need to do. Like it's wide out in the open too. It's not
It
even
is so
camouflaged. It's
You,
like
watch
you
him
could
put it down and then run behind
Yeah.
the bush, and you're like,
yeah,
you just
like
put a
just
bear trap
standing there
down?
behind
Like,
a tree, like
"No,
waiting
dude."
for you to do it. Like
That's a stepping stone.
yeah, go ahead, jump in. It's a trampoline. You'll bounce right back out. You know?
Feels good.
Yeah, it feels fucking good. No, dude. The Discord is not fetty, because people that do shit like that get banned immediately. So, and I unfortunately I can't say it's never happened. So, people that are like that get yeeted out of there. So, there's definitely plenty of autistic fucking retards in there, though. I will say that, but that's not illegal. Being autistic is not illegal. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. So, Fat Tuna. Channel member, thank you very much. $2 says fucking great super chat. Thank you. Very cool. Yeah. So yeah, the only resident Fed we have in the fucking Discord is SV89. But it's okay. You know, we keep him around so that so if we have at least one in there, you know, it's likely that other ones won't show up because they're like, all right, there's somebody already here. It's all good. You know, he's got a handle on it. And we keep him satiated with, you know, little bits of information, whatever. It's all good. No. So anyway, back on topic here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
we talked about conscription for non-goons. You know, yes, I think they definitely have a place. There's people that help keep a society productive are definitely people you still want around. There's no reason to exclude people like that except for very, very, very specific circumstances, as you said. So, anything you want to add before we go into the next talking point?
No, I think that's good.
Okay. So last one here is support roles for non-goons, and Larva, he worded this as such. He said, should these people be armed / should you arm them? What roles can they fill if unarmed? So we kind of talked about this already a little bit. You know, like they don't necessarily need to be armed. You know what I mean? Like, it's not completely fucking necessary for a certain situation. Like a cook, this isn't fucking JRTC. All right, cooks don't need to be carrying around M4s, bare bones M4s with them. Like, if they're off the front lines, they don't. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm not saying no, like they can't, but I'm just saying, like, is it necessary? Like, if I'm conscribing somebody as a wholesome Chungus warlord into my fucking goon battalion, as it were, you know, does this person need to be armed for a non-combative role? No, they don't. Like, should I long term, if it's something that, like, they, you know, like, hey, like, let's get you spun up, let's get you, you know, capable, you know, so that you're not stagnant, because God forbid, you know, at worst case scenario, we get fucking overrun by the Bugman battalion, fucking you know, foreign invaders from Askrakistan. Like, we got to do something, and now the cooks are pulling triggers. Like, I want the cooks to know how to pull triggers. You know what I mean? So, like, do they need guns? No. Am I saying, like, no forever? Probably not. But that comes with time. That comes with vetting. You know what I'm saying? Like, and, like, it's not my first thought in my mind to put a fucking rifle in the hands of, like, a 69-year-old grandmother who all she does is just cook soup all day. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the first thing in my mind.
Yeah.
and we've kind of talked about the roles that people like that can serve in. So but we can elaborate on that a little bit more if you want.
Yeah, I got a point to make that we haven't made yet. I'm gonna pull a page, though I had to stop before this, but how Ukraine was issuing Mosin Nagants to its rear echelon troops, right?
Yep.
So if your greater Met TC is such that there is good reason to have the people in the rear armed, right? There could be recon elements about, or there's not clear defined battle, front lines or whatever the case is, right? For whatever reason, there's a good reason for your civilian population, your echelon population to have arms. I think it is great for multiple reasons to give them the more simpler and less like violent and assaulting capable weapons, right? Bolt action rifles, single, double shot shotguns, revolvers, 22 long rifle stuff, right? Single shot 22 long rifles. If everybody has a weapon that makes sense, right? Grandma, she gets a 22 revolver, no recoil. It's got 12 shots in it. She's from her era. She probably has seen her dad use a revolver before. Whatever the case, younger gentlemen that aren't quite frontline age but are getting close, perhaps they get semi-automatic 22 rifles. And just your grown men cooks or whatever, that they're not tactically minded. They're obese. They're a little older. Whatever the case is, right? They get single, double barrel, 12 gauges, bolt action hunting rifles, stuff like this. Okay, so if our population is generally armed in a way that makes sense, they can operate that system. Then yeah, I mean anybody poking around is going to get scratted at by everybody. But on an individual level, multiple things. We've given them a simple weapon, so it's easier for them to rapidly learn how to use it. A, and B, we've minimized the amount of damage they can. Right. So if we've given a crazy person a weapon, or they freak out and they shoot at something they shouldn't, or whatever the case is, right? They're not dumping 30 rounds of 5.56 M855 out of an AR. They're popping off one round to 12 gauge. They're popping off one round from a bolt gun or whatever. They're scratting a couple 22s into the air. Definitely still can kill somebody. Definitely still want to avoid these things. Blah 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 blah. But it's a lot better than fucking letting a belt out of a 240 rip into the nights because you heard a sound, right?
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say on that.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah. I mean, clearly, like, for whatever hypothetical role, like this person's manning a checkpoint or whatever, they're standing guard outside of fucking the office building, admin building. They're standing outside of the.
They're guarding your garden.
Yeah, they're guarding. Whatever. Got it. Sure. You know what I mean? Fucking. There's a necessity for them to be armed in some way, shape, or form. So we're not gonna, just completely disarm them, but we're also, like you said, not going to give them. Nostalgia Stein, $2 Renos. He says, now I can't afford nods. Damn. If $2 made or break you buying nods, you couldn't afford nods before, but thank you. I'm almost glad now. I'm almost glad that you didn't decide to buy nods instead. Fucking family living in destitution.
I bought ramen. What?
Yeah, right. What, you guys need to eat again? Didn't you eat yesterday?
Already?
Yeah.
You're thirsty again?
What the fuck? Drink water. Fucking thanks, dude. Yeah, there's obviously a necessity for these people to be armed, so we're gonna arm them, but we're also not gonna arm them with the craziest fucking shit. We're not gonna put a fucking a humbly provided DDM4 in their hand or anything like that. So, yeah, it's just like they don't need it. They don't need it, but they need something, right? So, they can still serve in their role effectively enough, without being too much of a risk or a liability to themselves or other people. Because more than likely than not, the scope of their operation is just like, I don't know. I'm just doing the thing. I'm just doing the job. You know what I'm saying? Like their job isn't direct action. So
we're talking the cook who has never been in tactical role setting.
Yeah. Hardly
ever shot a gun before, but now because it's the end of the world, he has to also stand night watch sometimes around the neighborhood. Okay, well, he gets a double barrel shotgun.
Yeah. So everybody's got to fill in. You know what I mean? Fucking, and they should be capable of that. And You know, and if they're down, if they're like, yeah, hey, I see that shit's bad now, you know, sorry, well, you know, I didn't think to fucking prepare ahead of time, you know, like, can't knock everybody for that, fucking, but if they're just like, hey, I wanna be more of an asset, I wanna be more useful, fucking, I think I could do more, then it's just like, hell yeah, dog, fucking, we'll get your ass on the range, fucking, get you a bit more better familiarized, blah blah blah, and get them squared away. And then to answer the question of should you be personally responsible for arming them? I mean, that's a question that you can ask yourself now. I don't think if listen, like yeah, you said this at the beginning of the stream, Jiwa. It was like, you know, this is like late stage prepper mentality shit, where it's just like if
So
you
for the
have
guys that already have some extra guns and gear,
you are
now we can start
so
thinking about what
fucking
do I do with
squared
that?
away now. You know, you're so squared away. What the fuck is this screen name? Jeet Diarrhea. Fucking $1.99. He
Boomer
says
Tower Guard.
Boomer Tower Guard. Thanks. Yeah,
Hell
yeah,
yeah,
literally.
dude.
Get your fat ass up there, dude. Fucking hold
real,
this
for real.
Remington 700 and don't move.
Yep.
Make sure nobody comes
As far
in.
as the eye can see, that's your fucking firing line.
Exactly. Fucking if you should arm them, I mean, dude, you need to be like so well squared away in so many other things before you need to concern yourself with that. Like, chat, those of you that have watched the previous streams, how many times have I said that like defense and shit comes last? Because it's like it's probably the last thing that's going to kill you. And more than likely than not, you've already checked that box way more than you think you already have. Like you could own a single fucking pistol and just be like, yeah, I'm good for 99% of situations. And
Yep.
now I need to focus on having 2 weeks of fucking food and water in the house because I don't. You know
Yep,
what I mean?
water purification, food storage, radio communication, power, electricity, right? Power bank, solar panels, gas generator, gas storage, and then hygiene. Hygiene is one nobody fucking thinks about, but will literally kill you quicker than anything other than water, right? If all of the everything that you use goes away, where are you pissing? Where are you shitting? What are you doing with all your trash? What are you wiping your ass with? What are you brushing your teeth with? Et
Hopefully
cetera, et
not the
cetera, et
same
cetera.
thing. You know?
You know, think about that, plan some stuff, store some stuff to give you a runway, right? But yeah, before you're like, how many people should I arm, right? Well, do you know where you're going to take a shit when the water doesn't flush anymore? Because if you don't,
Yeah.
worry about that first.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're gonna die of sepsis. You know what I mean? Fucking yeah. You're gonna shit yourself and die. Yeah. There's so many fucking other things that you need to get to before you concern yourself with that. And if you are asking yourself that question because you are there, then the question, or I guess then the answer to that question is, yeah. I mean, it's literally just another prep. It's another layer to the preparedness sphere, if you will, that you can check off and be like, hey, for this particular situation, I'm good to go. I have 10 fucking, you know, $400 PSA shit builds that I can hand off that definitely will survive 100 rounds and nothing more. You know what I mean? Or Bear Creek Arsenal fucking builds that will definitely survive 100 rounds and nothing more, but that's fine because that's all they're there for, you know? Or I have 10 fucking break action 12 gauge fucking shotguns that I can hand out. Fuck, you know, you have an assortment of bullshit that you can give out to people in case they need to do something that may potentially involve pulling a trigger, right? For a defensive
how
sort
this
of
normally
situation.
goes, gear acquisition that I see is that typically you're a gun guy, and then so you have a bunch of guns, right? Before you even become a prepper. So you've already got 2 ARs and a shotgun and your grandpa's old hunting rifle or whatever the fuck, right? Some shit like that. And then you become a prepper, so you buy some prep stuff, but then you also are like, oh, I need an SPR, and I need a 1022, and I need a survival rifle, and I need... So then you add like 6 more guns to the list, right? And then by the time you actually get your shit all squared away, and you start to realize you probably didn't need half those guns, well, you already got them. So now go buy some cheap-ass surplus gear, 1 set of surplus gear to go with each gun, buy some canteens or whatever to go in there, enough extra mags to fill them out. that's the pipeline I see this conversation actually happening for most people, to a certain degree, self included, right?
Hmm.
Before I started setting up gear for other people, I already had a handful of long guns myself. Not that I don't have a massive gun safe, nor will I probably ever. I keep myself in check. But point being, even I had more than just one rifle, so it made sense. It was very easy for me to spend $100 on $2 UCP pouches and dye them,
Hmm.
and set up three, four, five sets of kit. You know what I'm saying, for those guns.
Yeah.
After I got myself squared away.
Yeah. That should be priority number one. First, foremost, and always is square yourself away, because if you can't provide for yourself and your family, you aren't going to be able to provide for others in a generous way. Um, it seems like I ruffled some feathers when I talked shit about PSA in Bear Creek. Guys,
This is
listen.
good.
I'm being
Hell no,
hyperbolic.
brother.
I'm being hyperbolic. Obviously, it will survive more than 100 rounds. I'm fucking
I've shot my
joking.
PSA 3 times. It's a good rifle.
I swear, yeah. It's been the same mag. Oh my god. Yeah. Regardless, you know what the fuck I'm trying to say. I'm just being hyperbolic. Calm down. Um, fuck. What was the question here? Or what was the thing that you just ended on?
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, me neither. Anyway, so should they be armed? Yeah, everybody should be fucking armed. You know what I mean? Literally every single person should be armed, because then you don't need to worry about arming them. But if you do need to arm them, then I think it needs to be selectively, after some decent vetting or proper training. That maybe is something that you've blessed off on, because it's just like that's your gun in their hands.
Yep.
So you're going to be in some way, shape, or form responsible, or unless you're serving under another wholesome Chungus warlord, who is just like, hey, who can put a gun in this motherfucker's hand so that he could stand guard outside of the fucking chow hall and make sure people isn't stealing food. You know what I'm saying? In this hypothetical goon LARP shit scenario. So, and then you raise your stupid fucking hand and you're like, yeah, I have 15 fucking M&P 15s that I can give away. You know what I mean? Because I
Yeah.
hate money, so
Oh yeah.
then whatever, then that's sort of slightly out of the ballpark, and you're just trying to help, But generally
Yeah.
speaking,
If you have the
it's good.
means, if you got the means to buy creative SKSs or go buy a bunch of police trade-in 12 gauges or whatever,
Hmm.
if you're Captain Money Stacks,
Dude, isn't
then
it
that
crazy
that could be
that it's
helpful.
cheaper? It's cheaper now. It's cheaper now to buy law enforcement trade-in Glock 17 Gen 5s than it is to buy an SKS out of a crate. It's
Yeah, Milsurp's done.
What
Police
the
trade-in.
fuck? What is the state of the fucking world now, dude?
This is an original thought. I think who's that dude? Espresso, whatever. Anyways, on YouTube, he made a whole video about it. But he was saying, and I agree, that police trade-in is the new military surplus. People just haven't realized it yet. So just like back in the day, you could go haggle somebody to sell you like a Egyptian AK for $200.
Yep.
You can go buy like a Remington 870 for 150, $200 right now. You can go buy a police trade-in AR for like $300, $400 right now.
Oh yeah.
A Colt one. So that's where I would look if I had like 10 grand to outfit as many dudes as I can. I would be looking at police trade-in.
Hmm. Entity of the Void. For 5 shekels, he says, "Hang on. Where are we getting all these bear arms from?" Apparently, the guy who bought 1,000 fucking ARs for some reason, um, and needs to and feels justified in giving them away during some sort of situation, I guess you could say. So, yeah,
Event.
yeah, some sort of event, as it were. An event has taken place, and now everybody needs to be armed. Here, take your gun. Go forth and do violence or something. Wacky waveable inflatable arm flailing tube man for $2 says, "I gifted my dad a BCA. Am I going to hell? No, but your dad is."
You've damned your father.
you, you fool! You fool! You gave your father a BCA, and now he's going straight to Hebrew hell. I'm sorry. I don't write the rules. That's just the way it is, big dog. Only BCA owners. You see, while it was in your possession, you were going to help, but now that you've given it to your dad, you've now cursed him instead. So, yeah, sorry. I hate to break it to you, but them's the rules, dog. Them's the rules. I don't write them. I just yeah, you did this to him. Oh my god. So yeah, let's kind of recap here. We'll do a once over. This is the first time in Goonsday Preppers history that we've actually made it through all of the talking points in less than 3 hours. We're about to hit an hour and 45 minutes. This is actually incredible.
We're fucking locked in right now.
Yeah, we locked the fuck in. To kind of recap here, SHTF neighborhood conscription, the goon conscription, as it were. $2 Entity of the Void. He says, my old man wants a Hellion. Could be worse. Yeah. I don't know. I have a homie who has a Hellion. He seems to like it, but I don't know. I hear that's a pretty mediocre option for that's the bullpup, right? The VHS2, yeah. Yeah, no. Everybody knows if you're gonna do a bullpup, you might as well do a fucking MDRX and drop $7,000 on it to make it 3/4 as good as a standard $500 AR. Oh my god. Stale Dog Hellion is for Kangs. No, that's the fucking do you guys remember I can't remember if it was the Black Bloc guy or he was he was some related person to BLM where it was like this like armed protester movement of like, you know, black Kangs and shit, and he was just like, I'm pretty sure it was a Tavor or some sort. No. It was a hodgepodge AR-15 conversion that was a bullpup, and he was like, this is my BP-15. He's like, and this thing always goes off. Sometimes it just goes off on its own. Like in like an Instagram live video, and it was just like, dude, that is not a flex, dude. That is not a flex.
My gun shoots itself sometimes.
Yeah. Cool. Oh my god.
You should pick up one of those 6.320s, eh?
Yeah. I hear they're pretty good at shooting on their own, regardless of user interaction. Jeet Diarrhea for $1.99 says, OG, can you do a video on thermal camouflage? Probably. Yeah. I'd have to think about that. I'd have to put some autistic thought into it. It is something that I have looked into, and there's a lot of solutions out there, both, you know, big budget and fucking, you know, poor fag options out there for defeating thermal capabilities. I guess I could give you a too long didn't read version now and add that to my list later to kind of have a more fleshed out video, but I see a lot. This is something that I see a lot of people really hark on or really talk about, and I want to hear your opinions on this because I haven't seen a lot of people share the same sentiment, but I think it comes from a place of pure logic. When it comes to not thermal specifically, but nods and infrared, everybody is so fucking concerned with, oh my god, is my kit fucking IR compliant? I need to know, like, is this chest rig gonna fucking literally glow like a Christmas tree when somebody looks in my general direction at 100 meters?
You're just like glowing in the wind.
like literally is this plate carrier irradiated with fucking plutonium or what? You know what I mean? Like, is it gonna glow at night? And dude, like I always just tell people that, like, ask me.
The answer is no.
The answer is stop fucking worrying about it, dude.
It's not gonna glow
unless you have a reflective, a literal reflective fucking coating of some variety, like a shiny metal piece or like a shiny plastic piece or something that literally reflects light. Like, yes, some things are going to be IR reflective to some degree. Okay. a good way to fucking defeat this is regular dirt and grime dust. Literally knock the shine off of the fucking die of the threads of your plate carrier. Spray paint even can help this sometimes. Otherwise, literally, like, let me contextualize this for you, okay? You're so worried about having an IR compliant fucking piece of kit on you. Do you think the tree that's been growing in the area that you're operating in for 30 fucking years is IR compliant? No, it's not. It's not. The tree didn't evolve to be IR compliant, and it's not. It's not to this fucking day. Like, if you look in nods, like, fucking, that shit will glow on its fucking own. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you utilize standard daytime practices of uh, uh, cover and concealment, like, your non-IR compliant fucking 10 by 12 plate carrier is gonna not be a fucking issue.
The ultimate answer to everybody's question on all this shit is learn how to fucking patrol, dude.
Yeah, legitimately. Learn how to move around in an austere environment. At least practice.
Which, I mean, yeah, just use cover and concealment, use dead spaces, use depressions, use micro terrain for all this stuff. That's my answer for IR2, right? Instead of trying to find what kind of fucking blanket you can wrap around yourself and walk around like a burrito in, just fucking don't be out in the open.
Yeah.
You know, they can't see you through trees or through dirt.
The question definitely becomes a bit more difficult to answer when thermal capabilities get brought into question, right? Understandably so. Which, real quick, couple donos came in. Fucking Fat Tuna for $2 says, bonus topic, Glock is the greatest handgun. Yeah, Hammer Squad, kill that guy. Scout for $2 says, the only real thermal camo is having a thermal. Yeah, now we're cooking. Now we're fucking cooking. Entity the Void for $2 says, NIR, my parachute flare reveals all. Yeah, dude. Behold the sun! At least for 5 minutes, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, fuck all that shit. I don't really worry too much about being NIR compliant. Thermal, obviously, is a huge issue. But Scout really brought in a great point where having thermal capabilities yourself, you know, the whole argument back in the day with nods and shit is the same. I'm sorry, I'm tripping over my words here. Applies the same to thermals as well. If you don't have thermals, the chances of you being killed by somebody in a near-peer threat environment with thermals is very high. If you don't have thermals, if you have thermals, then yeah, your chances of survival go up exponentially. If you don't have nods, you're going to be killed by somebody at nods at night, or with nods at night. If you don't have thermals, you're going to be killed by somebody with thermals. So you should probably have thermals so that you don't get killed by somebody who's trying to use thermals to find you. In this sort of hypothetical bullshit LARP scenario, you know what I mean? It's an asset. It is a fucking asset. You can't fake a heat signature like that necessarily. All you can do is cover it up. And there are great tools out there. You know what I mean? Fucking people from Askrakistan, you know what I mean? They'll literally just put palm fronds over their heads to fucking defeat thermal capabilities and shit like that. You see motherfuckers using like camouflaged umbrellas and shit for like, you know, thermal TGI drones and shit. Bees Industries, I think is the name of the company. BEEZ, Bees. They make anti-thermal scrim blankets and camouflage netting that goes on like your helmet, and like they have those like sniper cloaks and shit like that that you can use. I mean, dude, there is an answer to it. There's an answer to it. The question is like, you know, how realistic of a concern is this for you? You know what I mean? I think there's a lot of other stuff that is going to give you away way before your thermal signature does. Which is a hard truth to swallow for a lot of people. Um, so I wouldn't be too concerned with it necessarily. Um, Antifa isn't using thermals. You know what I mean? Like, there's no real reason to necessarily. And I mean, even if they are, like I said, like the same could be applied. If you're utilizing good cover and concealment, then you're fine. Like, it becomes as simple as like obscuring your position with something. Like, have you guys seen the fucking videos of like people literally just holding like a clear plastic sheet in front of them, and that is like capable of 100% defeating fucking thermal as long as they're not
You just
touching
got to
it?
get behind something.
Yeah.
The other thing is, if you do know you're going against a thermal threat, utilize the weather appropriately.
Mm.
So like if you're in a hot place in the middle of the day, everything's hot, just as hot as you are. So your thermal signature is not going to be very big. The other one is if it's raining or snowing, actively raining and snowing, it drowns out a lot of the thermal imaging as well and makes it pretty hard to see. So, if you know that you're going against a thermal threat, utilizing proper attack planning, utilizing weather as well as terrain and route planning is going to mitigate the thermal threat a bunch. So
Let's see here. Scout for 5 shekels. He says the only major excuse me, the only major concern for thermal is thermal trail cams and thermal drones. If somebody is using a thermal scope to look at you, you're probably dead already. Yeah, yeah. I guess it kind of depends on the situation. Effective thermal scopes are so fucking expensive that like, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you're gonna be given away by something else so much further ahead that like, you know what I'm saying? That's like the final nail in the coffin. Um, because the people that can afford those types of scopes have bottomless budgets. The ones a thermal scope that could see further than 100 yards effectively. You know what I mean? Like, that type of technology is. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, because it absolutely exists. I'm saying that it's super fucking expensive. That's where like the ceiling, the budget ceiling, really fucking shoots to the moon. Is when you start talking about thermal capabilities and stuff like that, because it's like it's not only an effective thermal optic, it's also it's literally an aiming apparatus that is accurate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just like a handheld that can like pick up a fucking a blob 150 fucking meters away. Like, oh, there is something over there. What it is, I'm not exactly sure, but there is something over there. Fucking no, like the one that's on the fucking, the Gucci rifle build that's, splitting your fucking wig at 250 yards. Like, there's so many other things that went into fucking consideration before that bullet went through your fucking big empty head. That is the reason that you probably got schwacked anyway. So, defeating thermal in that sense, you kind of have to. There's so much more that goes into it, is what I'm trying to say, chat. It's not. This is what I was saying during the last fucking stream, dude. You cannot just buy fucking preparedness. There's skills that need to be learned. There's practices that need to be put into place and standardized and adhered to, that are smart and well thought out and able and flexible and fucking flexible. And
if you can look at a map and then be like, they're here,
mm,
you have to go there, but they have thermals and drones and stuff. And you can look at the map and be like, oh, I see there's vegetation here, and there's this depression, this little valley that's going to mask me as I come around this way, and then blah, blah, blah. Oh, no, I know in this town I can hop on the sewers and then traverse this far in the sewers, right? Like,
mm,
you didn't buy that, and that's what's actually going to save you.
correct.
Buying a fucking tactical ghillie umbrella is not gonna check in the box of now thermals can't see me because I have my umbrella.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
gear's cool. You need gear. If you have gear, great, use it. If you have money, buy gear. When you're buying gear, buy good gear. But what you need is skills. We're double fucked here on YouTube. everybody being focused on gear because we have a consumerism reality. So all of our everything is material focused and focused on buying stuff, and your status is what you own, and that's our culture. And then also on the YouTube, it's very easy for me to hold up a thing. I can be like, this is a Glock. It's just a pin, YouTube, calm down. I can be like, this is a Glock, and it's a Glock 19. And look at it, does this, and it's so cool. And here's this thing that I'm showing you on the video that you can see. And now we're talking about stuff that you can see on the video. It's very hard for me to, like, show you patrol. I can't just pull up a patrol and be like, here's patrol.
Yeah,
look at,
literally,
look at the
dude.
patrol.
Fucking
How nice
literally.
is it? So this is why it's harder. If I'm gonna make a video about patrolling and try to physically show somebody, I can't just hold the thing up. I have to like go out there and do it. I have to set up. I have to walk around. It is much more difficult. So it's not done as much. It's also not as fun to look at a guy walk around the woods as it is to look at that new toy that you want to buy, and you get some dopamine in your head, right? It's free dopamine, which is why everybody wants to just look at the gear. I've even heard of my own thing. I know a guy, I know a teenager in my personal life that watches my videos, and he aspires to join the Marine Corps Infantry. And even out of his mouth, he was like, "Yeah, I pretty much only just watched your gear videos." And I was like, "Yep,
Great.
makes sense." And you can perfect.
Yeah.
And this isn't me bitching about my views. I don't care at all. I'm not monetized. Blah 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 blah. But it's funny as fuck. I'll be like, my fighting load, and it'll be like 16,000 people view it, and then I'll be like, how to operate a support by fire, and like 400 people will watch it. I'm like,
But
Well-
seriously, it's like that's, god damn, it's like that's what I keep trying to fucking tell people during these streams is like you cannot buy fucking manpower. You cannot buy support for your fucking cause. You can't buy, you know, fucking trust and shit like that. Like this is the whole crux of many of the things that I argue about on this channel and during these streams and stuff like that, is that, like G-Want said, you know, you have the time to fucking figure this shit out now, and it fucking does not require any money whatsoever. Damn, we got Mr. President, there's been a second dog and a third dog. Holy shit.
they're everywhere.
Yeah, so like all my broke homies out there. What do you mean you're too broke to patrol? You're too broke to walk around, you fucking idiot?
You can literally just do it with nothing.
Are you kidding me?
Just go walk in the woods, motherfucker, and pretend like someone's trying to see you.
Dude,
Be like,
oh
if somebody
my
was
goodness,
in that
yeah.
in that area over there, how could I walk up on them and not get seen?
Come on, nostalgia, really? Don't do that. Persac just joined. Are we at the conscripting part yet? Dog, we are like leagues. No, we're not leagues beyond the conscripting part, but no, we're kind of talking about the bigger picture here, in the sense of like, there is no thing that you can buy to sort of like facilitate this sort of thing where it's like you have to cross that bridge. You have to bridge that gap of being in the mindset, okay, I can't just buy everything to be prepared. I have to now like act and do things. I have to train, and I have to like socialize, which is very scary for a lot of people. You know, admittedly. Excuse me. And that like I can't necessarily box that up into something that is easy to explain, like you said. Like, it's not really a one size fits all sort of solution for, like, you know, something like this. Like this to me, this was a hyper specific idea in terms of just like acquiring guys for a common goal. That's how I looked at it. That's how I compartmentalized it as. But like then you start and which we immediately did. We immediately were just like, okay, but like in what context? Like in what scenario? You know, oh, we're arming guys, like, so are we arming them for just, you know, standard patrolling? Are we just arming them for like checkpoint manning? Are we doing like, you know, perimeter security? Are we doing you know, it's just like the layers to it are fucking endless, but it literally changes your approach and your solution. You know what I'm saying?
Which is why everybody says Met TC, but then
Yeah.
they leave it at that. I don't know whether it's ignorance or time or like whatever, but they need to. The next step that the YouTubes needs to do is getting into it. Okay, yeah, it does depend on Met TC. What does that mean? What are some examples? What are some different versions? What does METCC even fucking mean? What's going on here?
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. It's a cop out
yeah.
for a lot of people to say METTC, but it's just like when I hear METTC, it's like my brain becomes like a fucking chat GPT fucking data center where I'm just like immediately like going through 1 garbillion fucking different like routes and possibility trees and shit like that of like min maxing fucking, you know, an end user fucking risk and uh, uh, I'm getting on a side tangent here. Like, I'm saying that you guys need to kind of start thinking about the bigger picture here and thinking about your preps from like a leadership standpoint, where it's no longer buying things; it's for yourself. You're sort of like hopefully utilizing people in action to your advantage instead of just like, hey, I'm gonna give you this thing and then the problem is solved, because that's not it's not that fucking simple. It's really not that fucking simple. You know.
Yes, you should be thinking of yourself as a leader and developing yourself. I'm sure I've said this many times on your live stream, but hello everybody that's watching this. Even if you just bought your first chest rig and rifle, if the world ends tomorrow, all the people that didn't ever buy those things and think about this are going to now look to you as a leader.
Mm.
So, even if you are squaring yourself away, at least start with the mindset of I'm learning all this stuff not only so I can know it, but so I can teach this to other people when the time comes. And I can have answers to questions when people have questions for me when those times come. Right? It's not only your
I'm gonna
personal
take a
development,
piss.
but
I'll be right back.
it's prepping for everybody else, right? Which goes back into what I was saying earlier. Whatever event happens, just, Russian paratroopers, Chinese sleeper cells, EMP that kills all the power or whatever. A huge demographic of people that they're never going to do anything today. They're not going to buy the rifle. They're not going to buy the chest rig. They're not going to go out on the training operation. They're not going to go zero their shit at the gun range. They're not going to come work out with you, whatever, right? But when the video game goes away, when the internet goes away, when Netflix isn't an option, when they can't go to the club and chase girls, when college sports no longer exists, they will be faced with this new reality and they will react to it in accordance, and they'll be seeking somebody in this new situation, in this power vacuum, to guide and lead them and show them the way. And that should be you, person who's watching this right now. So keep that in mind as you prepare yourself. Yep, here I am on OG server, all by my lonesome. What's chat got up to? Just patrol around. Ba, 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 ba. No plan survives first contact. Yep, that's true.
Entity the void. Once again, he says, for 5 shekels, no plan survives first contact. Pick something and hope it works best as you can. Pro tip from an ex-S2 mission planner. Yeah, that's kind of the idea that I'm really rocking with here and trying to spread the gospel of. Is, you know, there is no one-stop solution for any one problem necessarily. Everybody wants to buy the thing and then never worry about the thing ever again.
Yep.
It doesn't really work that way. I mean,
Nope.
you buy a car so that you can get to work more effectively, and then you get a flat tire and you're like, well, I'm just going to kill myself. You know what I mean? Because you didn't really think beyond what could happen if the thing no longer worked the way that you intended it to. So, you know, you think, okay, in this hypothetical situation, you know, as Krakistan invades the sovereign goon nation, and now I need to conscript non-goon people into my goon army. I'm just going to give them guns and that's it. Like they're gonna fucking hit the ground running, and they're just gonna know what to do. Their fucking secret fucking goon cell activation code is gonna fucking trigger in their brain, and they're just gonna know what to do immediately. It doesn't
Get
always work
downloaded
like that.
Neo in the Matrix.
Yeah, literally. It simply does not fucking work like that. You kind of need to be. You got to elevate your motherfucking conscience, legitimately. Like, you got to be able to think in broader strokes than just, you know, small single issues and stuff like that, and thinking I can buy the thing and be satisfied with the outcome of the issue. You know what I'm saying? And that's where, like, you know, in our space you get like restless rifle syndrome and shit, because it's just like we start thinking about all these things and we want to check as many boxes as fucking possible. You know, the bell curve of I'm getting into it. Good night, Nostalgia Stein. Thanks you for fucking stopping by, homie. I'll see you in the next one. Appreciate it. The bell curve for, like, you know, gun ownership, it starts here where it's just like you get the basic bitch shit and you're just like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to start here. And then you just start learning about industry trends and, you know, different parts availability and fucking capabilities and blah blah blah, and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna spend fucking millions and millions and millions of dollars on bullshit. And then you kind of come back around and you're just like, you accept the fact, like, I cannot be prepared for everything in one rifle, and it is pointless to have a million different fucking rifles all hyper purpose built for specific issues at any given time. And you're just like, if you know a lot, you don't need a lot. I'm gonna say that again. If you know a lot, you don't need a lot. So, like, your goal shouldn't be to accumulate everything. Your goal should be to try and learn as much as you can about everything. Because, I mean, you can having tools is great, but if you don't know how or when to use them, then it kind of defeats the purpose. And usually you can get a lot more done, regardless of what you have, if you just know a lot. You know how to apply fucking critical thinking. You know how to apply knowledge and experience from previous training and shit like that. Like, I'm not saying like I'm like a fucking genius or anything. I'm not. I'm really not. I promise you I'm not. I am literally some asshole on the internet with a fucking pink mask that, you know, talks about LARP shit. But the point still stands that, you know, I see a lot of guys out there that, you know, they're bottlenecking themselves because they cannot see the bigger picture in terms of these sorts of prepping considerations and stuff. Like, you cannot fucking buy everything. You are a victim of propaganda. You are a victim of industry propaganda, and I'm trying to wake you up from that. Couple donos came in. Scout for 2 schmeckles, he says, buy a notebook and do logistics before going goon. Yeah. Logistics planning, that's part of your area study and shit like that. Entity of the Void, $5. He says, did you see that Russia wants to build a tunnel between us and Alaska? That worked out well for Afghanistan. Who is going to use it to invade us first? That's a great question. I don't know. Probably nobody, because nothing ever happens. But no, thank you for that. Appreciate it, brother. I would hope that the sovereign nation of Alaska takes over the entire world and we can all be Alaska. That would be great, in my opinion.
Alaska.
G-Watt, you got anything, brother?
No, not really, man.
I'm going
We've
goblin
covered down
over
on this
here.
pretty good. Don't have a lot to add, honestly.
Right on. We got anything from chat here? Anything the chat wants to know about? Anything? What's on your minds, Kings? What's on your minds? You know what I mean? This is your time. If you got something you want to fucking say, go ahead and say it. Questions you want to ask. Larva, he says, it's been a good stream. Thanks for covering the topic. I have to go to bed, so I will watch the rest tomorrow at work. Thank you, brother. Thank you. And thank you for your idea for the stream. This was great, honestly. Scout says the Alaska-Ohio War of 2028. Oh my god. It's not even a civil war, because Alaska is its own sovereign nation at this point. Oh my god. Yeah, Alaskans are here to avoid the rest of the world. Yeah, honestly. I mean, they kind of are. Oh yes, nostalgia. Goon fitness standards. So yeah, we actually did not talk about this, and I said we were going to talk about this. Um,
Yeah, I did a video. I think I said the minimum fitness standard would be to run 10-minute mile, do 20 continuous push-ups without taking a break, and to be able to ruck 3 miles in their legitimate combat and like a 24-hour sustainment pack load, right?
mm,
Whatever that is for them, if they can ruck 3 miles in that, that is not a lot. That's not all-star status. That's like if you can't do these things, don't even ask to come on patrol. The answer is no.
yeah. Entity Devoid. He says for 5 shekels, he says 95% of people should just build a GPR and be done with it. Yeah, yeah.
You should not have niche weapons.
No.
If you better have a really fucking good reason. Whatever niche weapon you've built, you better be doing that niche thing all like a lot.
Hmm. Yeah. That is the ultimate LARP right there. You know, like where you're really getting away from the fine line of LARPing and prepping, where you're just like, yes, this is my 10-5 door kicking suppressed build, you know, where the lamb is the primary aiming module, and you know what I mean. I'm using my fucking quad tube nods with it, and I was like, okay, bro, you got it. Agreed.
Yes, most a fighting rifle should be a general purpose rifle, whether it's been leaning towards close quarters, leaning towards SPR, whatever. That's the gun you have. It needs to be able to engage people at day, at night, up close, far away, whatever happens, because you don't know what's going to happen. You need to be able to have an answer for it with that gun,
Yeah.
which means skill.
Yep.
It comes back to skill, right?
Yep.
If you have a bigger, more SPR or whatever style gun, we have to be skilled in point shooting, in weapons manipulation to be able to handle that larger gun. You need to be strong so you can handle that larger gun. And then on the other spectrum, right, if you're going a little bit lighter, more simplistic system, well, you need to be a skilled shooter to handle those more long range engagements, have range estimation, stuff like that. Skill. You can't fit everything you need all the time on one gun. You have to be able to fill some of those gaps with just your abilities.
Correct. Very true. Very true. Thank you for that, Dono. And good night, SV89. He says, "Good night, bros. I have to get up early to be at the FBI office to debrief." You're welcome, Autistic Outlaw, for reminding you not to consume stuff. Yes, consuming stuff is indeed gay. Don't fall for it. That's what the enemy wants you to do. Keep buying stuff. Waste your money instead of being a better human. Anyway, Goon Fitness, right? Sort of standardizing it. I mean, yeah, how I look at fitness in my personal goon squad, as it were, was I'm going to like basically have certain training scenarios where they're going to be inherently challenging, given the parameters of like what you should have on you, what you'll be doing, how you'll be doing it, when you'll be doing it. It will be inherently challenging. If you cannot keep up, then you are out. You know what I'm saying? So that's sort of like a vetting approach to it. I mean, otherwise, understand that, you know, everybody's not going to be, you know, as fucking high speed as I'm sure you think you are. Um, you know, yeah, and that is something that you kind of have to take into consideration when you're doing your, you know, 50-foot wide lens fucking planning, where you're like, okay, let's say you're doing like, I don't know, it's SHTF, and you're like, oh, we gotta pick up and move base camp, fucking, you know, 30 miles out of town for whatever reason, due to fucking natural disaster, flood, whatever. We got to pick up the fucking goon squad, and we gotta leave, you know, and we got fucking 50 people with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to consider the logistical aspect for the weakest person a part of that fucking group. You know what I'm saying? Because not everybody is going to adhere to the same physical standard as everybody else, because not everybody is serving in the same physical capacity as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, you can't expect a fucking like pregnant woman to keep up with somebody who's like on who's in their mid-20s and on TRT. You know what I mean? Like, it's just
Yes.
not the case. Like, it's just not going to happen. So, but I mean, for like the high-speed shit, because I know that's why you're asking. You know, for the high-speed shit, the fitness standards, I mean, I have the same fucking answer where it's just like, now is the time to fucking conduct those sorts of standards, and or rather figure out those standards and have people adhere to them and vet people with them, because the shit, fitness especially, is not something that's going to happen overnight when you need it to happen. When the fucking balloon goes up and it's everything everywhere all at once, fat fucks are not going to suddenly become fucking high speed. They're just not. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, the fitness standard says I'm going to take one look at you and I'm going to figure out if this person is like, yeah, you might be ideologically aligned and you want to go fucking, you know, free the nation, but like, you know, you can't walk 20 feet without collapsing and dying, then you're not coming with, because you're a liability.
Yeah. Here, I'll put it to you this way. As far as from like a high speed perspective, at the ripe old age of 35, I can run. I can run, and I do consistently 5 miles in just under 50 minutes. So that's 5 miles with 10 minutes a mile, or just a little bit less. I ruck 3 miles a week with a pretty reasonably heavy kit loadout, and then monthly I'll do like a six, maybe a 9 miler, and then like once a year I'll do a 12 or 15 miler. And as far as like upper body strength, I can do somewhere between 50 and 100 push-ups continuously, and I can knock out somewhere between 5 to 10 pull-ups from dead hang, depending on what day and all it is. And I would say I'm like barely keeping up, right? If war broke out and there was some hitters out there doing hitter stuff and I was trying to tag along, I would be like having to use age and wisdom rather than physical raw brute strength, right? I'd have to use some knowledge to pack a little bit lighter to keep up things like this, right? So if you're not busting out in the neighborhood of 10 pull-ups or 100 push-ups, you're not running multiple 10-minute or faster miles, you're not rucking like for real with all your shit for, you know, a couple handfuls a mile at a time, you have no business in reality doing a bunch of aggressive offensive maneuvers.
Yeah,
you're gonna gas out and you're gonna fucking die.
You are not that guy, dude. Yeah, you brought it up in another stream. It's like, have you ever done like, you know, have you ever cleared fucking 50 rooms before?
Yeah.
How exhausting.
Everyone's C-clamp. Yeah, that shit's done about room 3.
Yeah, dude. Like
hour 4, you're holding on to that mag well, resting on your chest. You're like, dear God.
Yeah, you're in the stack doing the Olympian fucking like target shooting stance and shit like this, like
yes,
fucking
literally.
max.
Yes.
Oh my God, yeah, that's there's no exaggeration there. No exaggeration.
And then dudes at
like,
training schools be like, "Hey, you want about 40% pressure on your front foot as you're." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that's now put 120 pounds of gear on. You slept 2 hours. You haven't eaten in 3 days, and you're thirsty. How much pressure's on your left foot? Oh, I have no fucking idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm lucky to literally be upright right now.
Yes, yeah.
I'm lucky to be vertical. Be glad I'm here and awake. Oh my God. Jesus. Let's see here. We got a couple donos coming in. Entity the Void. He says, imagine not having a emergency fund and spending money to LARP. Let's talk about priorities. How many of these LARPers are broke? Almost all of them, and yet they think spending money is their solution, which is fucking poop madness to me. And then he says, war is a young man's game if you're in your 30s. You're a has-been GWatt, as you're a has-been, as GWatt said.
That's not what I'm saying. Obviously, as age comes, you get older. You can, I think even some people, I see dudes in their 50s that are like running triathlons and shit, right? But in better cardiovascular shape than me. I will say the big difference, I think, is going to be your operational tempo. Like, I think back to some of the shit that I did when I was active duty in my early 20s, right? Where it would just be like, every fucking day was like 6 miles, 3 hours of sleep, only getting one meal, and I would just like do that for 2 or 3 weeks straight. And I'm like, man, I don't know if I could do all that. I could do a couple days of that. I could do a couple hard ass days, but I don't know if I have it in me to just like I think at some my joints and shit would get too inflamed, right?
Dude,
Um,
I
which you can,
have a hard enough time going to my day job and not dying. You know what I mean?
you know, but you can plan around that. But yeah, as far as I think as far as like being a invader that goes into foreign lands with possibly little to no logistical support, that's expected to just continue to operate until the war is won,
Mm,
that is a young man. That's a 20-year-old's game. As far as holding down the fort and being able to operate at specific times when you know it's tactically intelligent to do that, especially if you're able to operate out of a good home base, I think you can stay tactically relevant, even like I was just saying, up into your 40s, possibly even 50s, if you're doing a good job of taking care of yourself.
yeah.
But bottom line, you got to do the shit. Again, you can't do 10 pull-ups. You can't run multiple 10 or less minute miles. You can't put all your shit on and fucking walk all day. Don't come. You
Yeah.
will just die.
But and here's something to take into consideration is that that's a street that works both ways. You know what I'm saying? Like your enemy is always, you know, inhabiting a human body, which is capable of the same amount of exhaustion as you are. And I mean, just like doing that sort of like harassing shit to kind of keep people awake, keep them from resting, keep them constantly moving, keep them constantly under duress, like that's how you crack a tough shell. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Is keep people fucking hungry, keep people fucking from resting. Like it's a psyop all on its own. You know what I'm saying? Is that like there is no fucking quarter, there is no rest for these types of people. You know that have like this is I'm looking at this from like a guerrilla standpoint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Where
absolutely.
you know there's a clearly superior threat. They have a massive logistical fucking um, benefit on their side. Like it, you need to try and make life miserable for them in the sense of because this is just like that's how I look at it when I was active duty was just like that's when I became less and less effective was when my sleep got fucked up, when my food got fucked up, when my water got fucked up, like when just
Bad
the
weather.
creature comforts got fucked up. I'm like I fucking hate everything and I no longer
You
give
start to do what they call, at least in the Marine Corps, they said go internal, where
mm,
you stop worrying about your sector, you stop worrying about like making sure you hit the radio, start checking on your teammates, and
yeah.
you're just like, I'm just trying to survive.
Yeah.
I'm
You just
fucking
show up.
hungry,
You're
I'm
just checking
cold, I'm
boxes, dude.
tired, I'm just fucking here. I just gotta keep making it through, right?
Yep.
If you can, you know, you can get them to that point, they're very vulnerable. Caveating off that is weather, right? Attacking somebody in the middle of a blizzard or a terrible
Mm.
rainstorm, right? That dude on post when it's pouring down on him and he's in his poncho, he don't want to be there. He ain't paying attention.
Fuck
He's
no.
trying to fucking stay dry or count the clock till he gets to
Yeah,
go back to
he's trying
bed.
to count the clock for 60 minutes so that he can go the fuck to sleep for an hour.
Yep,
You know what I mean?
yep. If you can
Fucking
strike him, then that's a whole lot better than when it's, you know, sunny and breezy and 70 degrees outside. He's fucking feeling great, super watching his sector.
mm. Yeah. Entity the void for $2. He says, "I inhabit a machine body." Well, damn.
Mm,
There you go.
good for you,
I
brother.
guess money can fix some problems. You know what I mean? you just you just you just lean into the singularity, and then you don't
I
need to
am
worry
all.
about sleep and all that. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, nostalgia. From the moment I realized the weakness of my flesh, I was disgusted by it. Fucking, yeah, very true, very true. Becoming Dangerous says, thanks for the stream. Gotta run. Y'all have a good night. Thank you, brother, for stopping by. Appreciate your extended stay here on the Goonsday Prepper hangout location. I appreciate that, and I appreciate all of you guys fucking hanging out this long. We still got 51 people listening to us yap after 2 hours. Honestly, these are always the best parts of the stream is when it's just me and GWatt fucking talking
Shooting the
fucking
shit.
high end logistics and fucking theory craft and shit like that. You know what I mean? Because it's like there's not a lot of people I can bounce ideas like this off of. So it's always a huge blessing to be able to share this kind of information with you guys because I'm going to be honest with
Definitely.
you. I'm kind of retarded. It's kind of hard for me to think of this stuff on my own. So, you
So
know,
it's always good to bounce ideas off a homie. No doubt
yeah,
about it.
yep.
Kitty
Um,
cat.
yeah, no, he was looking at me all crazy. He wanted to come over here and jump all over my desk, so he's gonna get some loving. Um, fucking shift is starting. It was fun seeing y'all. Thank you, Entity. Thank you for fucking coming in and spreading some of that good Fed wealth over here.
Yeah.
I appreciate it
Spreading that
wholeheartedly.
guap out for us.
So, yeah, if you guys have any questions, go ahead and fucking pop them in now, because we're otherwise we'll get ready to wrap up for the evening. We got some homies dipping out, so we don't want to keep you guys all fucking night. It is indeed only Wednesday, my dude. So, you know, I know most of us are working class individuals. I actually have the day off tomorrow, so I got lucky. I have my first VA disability claim appointment tomorrow.
Ooh,
So,
very nice.
yeah, going in for tinnitus and hearing loss, so I can get that sweet $170 a month for blowing my fucking ears out, riding in helicopters all the time.
Hell
Fucking,
yeah.
that shit sucked, but yeah, it's all gonna be worth it now. Don't worry, it's all gonna be worth it now. Fuck, dude. Honestly, I did like a fucking 8 hour, it was like 6 or 7, like a 6 or 7 hour helicopter ride in a fucking Black Hawk, no hearing protection, bro. Like
Yep.
I normally had fucking ear pro, and it was in our packing list, but they told us to put it in our rucksacks, and our rucksacks got put onto a different fucking bird altogether and flown over.
Hell yeah.
Like conventional means, so all we had was like assault packs and shit. I'm like, well, I don't have my fucking ear pro now. It was in the fucking packing list for the rucksack. And fucking dude.
What ear pro did they give you? Did you have the double-sided 3M ones?
No.
They had better shit?
I bought the Surefire ones.
Nice.
Yeah, that kind of like fill the inside of your ear, and then there's like a little flip plug that you can plug in or unplug.
Yeah, I know the type. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, those are great. Those I still have the same pair. I use them at work. They're fucking awesome, and they're not super expensive either. Very comfortable. I don't like just standard plugs, because I have weird shaped ear canals. So like these ones,
Nice.
they'll actually sit inside like the the whoop part of your ear. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't know
hell
what
yeah.
the fuck it's called. But
Right in that swoosh.
yeah, right in the swoosh, as it were. It'll hold itself there. And they're hollow in the middle, so that you could still hear a little bit, but they'll muffle like super loud noises. Everyone's saying not service related. Yeah, fucking right, dude. Listen, chat, you're gonna see me get a lot more radicalized if I don't get this claim approved. All right, like I'll fucking freak out. I literally failed my last hearing test when I was ETSing, so
You'd be good then.
yeah.
It should be pretty in and out.
I'm hoping. I gotta. And they're giving me gas money to drive out there, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
They're gonna mail me a check for driving 30 miles to go
Hell
to
yeah,
this
dude.
fucking office. Yeah. So it seems like a good deal. Yeah. Doesn't seem like we got much in the way of questions here, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Fellas, fucking thanks a bunch for hanging out. Thank you, Larva, for the idea to do the stream. This was a great idea. It was a great idea. Wonderful stream, honestly. It was a fantastic stream. I loved it. Loved every part of it. But it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun doing the stream. It was a lot of fun having you guys around, hanging out for so long. Thank you, Procher Band. Thank you, GWatt, for sticking around, especially. Fucking thank you, Bones, for doing a PFP fucking tap in for a split second and just listening.
Came in, stayed in mute.
just checking the box. He's like, I was here.
I was here to do it.
And yeah, thank you, Stale Dog, for the end tower at the last minute. That was super cool. Fucking, and then and then yeah, guys, check out the links in the description. Fucking, you could check out these guys' channels. Go and show them some love. GWatt literally uploads every 30 seconds, so there's a constant stream of highbrow content there.
There's week-long breaks in between my uploads.
Yeah,
Careful, guys.
I'm literally
Relax.
just
It's not
fucking
every
around.
day. I'll usually record like 7 videos and then set them to post like every day until I'm out,
Big
and
brain.
then whenever I record more, I record more.
Big brain shit, honestly. Yeah, no, I'll record a video and then not even edit it for like 3 months.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
But yeah, go ahead and join the Discord if there's still joins available. I've set it to only 25 people can join at a time because we have a vetting process in the Discord so that commies and trannies can't come in. All right, we don't want them in there. They're problematic. They're problematic sorts of people. They just cause fights, and we don't want them there. So we have to slow down the amount of people that can join at once. So, but you can join the Discord. The Discord is free. If you want to donate to the channel, you may. You could also consider becoming a channel member. That helps me do stuff like making videos and whatnot, purely for content reasons. But it's not necessary. This is totally a passion project for me. All right, and it always will be. I don't care. I'll do this shit for fucking 20 years if it means I never make a dime from it. So, but I also got shirts for sale. If you want to rep a fucking shirt and scare the hose away at every fucking function you go to, you can absolutely do that. And last but not least, go and check out Rebel Spirit's website. Link to that is in the description as well. Super cool training hub. Lots of different solutions on there for finding content creators, finding deals online. It's a total grassroots, community-driven sort of platform that is decentralized from YouTube or anything else. He's made it completely out of pocket. So if you guys want to support that, support the cause, go and check out that that website in the description. And with that, thank you all the subscribers that are coming back. Thank you all the channel members that are here hanging out. Fucking. Yeah, Asian massage. You're a little late, buddy. Fucking. Thank you everybody that is coming in and hung out this long. Seriously, returning homies, new homies alike. You guys are all my favorite. I love you all dearly. So we'll catch you guys in the next one.